Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go out, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man, so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
So you're looking a little bit sleepy. You're looking a little bit tired, Chris Cody. What do you have going on last night?
Bowling got me.
Really?
I used to not partake in the, the beverages in the midweek.
What does that mean? You used to not partake?
What do you mean you used to? Right.
On school nights, I don't really get down.
Right.
But, the last couple of years, I've done bowling on Wednesdays, and so I've kind of gotten the habit.
Are you in a bowling league?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Greg
Really?
Cody's on the team. Yeah, we got a whole squad.
So the bowling didn't get to you, the drinking did.
Correct.
Okay.
And it doesn't always.
Right.
But it did last night.
All right, but let's backpedal for a second. So how many people are on a bowling team?
5.
And is it like total score? Is it average? How does that work?
It's 3 games a night, and you do have an average, and then you're based off your average. You're given a handicap to kind of balance it out. If you're really good, you have a 0 handicap.
Well, why is there a handicap to balance it out? Why isn't it just you versus another team?
Because then there's like a few teams out there that are just so good that they would just win everything. This makes like a crappy bowler can compete with the good bowlers because of handicap.
I mean, Zaslow, it's like golf. The reason you have handicaps is so bad players can compete with good players, I mean, bowling's no different.
Well, why don't bad players compete in a league that's bad players? And good players compete in a league
Is there
that's
a bumper
good
league?
Players?
Like an ABC league, something like that.
Bumper league.
Right.
Yeah, how about them bumpers?
Let's be honest. Nobody actually knows how to keep score in bowling. So if you just take off the TV on the top, right? No, nobody. Come on, they're all lying.
He's right about that. He's right.
No one knows.
Right about that. How do you score a spare?
It's one of those things where old people, like my dad, can tell you. He can look at a thing and be like, "You're gonna get."
It's been
185.
decades since they've had to do it on their own. There's no way they remember how to do it.
If
you
telling
take
me-
off the screen and just bowl, and then at the end have a big reveal as to who won, I guarantee you, everybody's like, maybe I won. I don't know how to keep score.
He just made bowling better. He did.
See?
I mean, that is great. A reveal at the end?
Yeah, everybody
remember-
goes, and then they show who won, and then,
I mean, Israel, you're a North Miami Beach
Like
guy.
a tennis replay.
Like growing up.
Whoa.
Aren't you
Let's
in
be specific.
North Miami?
You are a North Miami Beach guy.
Yeah.
I'm a North Miami guy.
Yeah, okay, so-
Okay?
so-
Big
we are
difference.
rivals. We are
Yes.
not the same.
This is true. Rival high schools. That's
Cross
right.
town, yeah.
I remember I have to get off the bus. I played varsity basketball.
Don't make me
in
have
North
to go
Miami
get my
Beach.
North Miami police hat from the other room.
Please get it.
I would get off the bus. Israel's going to get the North Miami police hat. I'd get off the bus when we were at North Miami. We were escorted into the gym by police.
Oh, wow.
That was a big rivalry.
Huh.
That was when and it was my first experience at North Miami. For a big rivalry game. That was when I walked next to our 6'8" center into the gym.
So you walked next to him,
Yeah.
who was also walking next to police. So you were like 3
Well,
levels.
police was surrounding all of us.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm walking next to
And
Don.
you still felt the need, huh?
Yep. Oh yeah. He was a big boy. I'm walking with you.
You had cops with you, Zaslow.
Nah, I still
Wasn't
felt the
enough,
need.
huh?
None of those cops were 6'8". All right. Oh, look at Israel. He's got his North Miami police hat. Oh, look at you looking very handsome. There you go.
It's incredible. Zaz still looks more like a cop.
Oh, I don't know. How about now?
The
Is he
sweat
also
stain.
in
Love
the
a good
flex,
sweat stain.
Yeah.
in the flex cap?
No, still Zaz.
Yep.
Your mic's off.
And you
There
still
we go.
got the NMPD thing right there. I'm thrown off. I came in the middle of the segment. I don't know what the hell's happening.
So the point I'm making, all right, you're a North Miami kid. You don't remember going to Cloverleaf Bowling and having to keep score by hand? You weren't able to do that?
Yeah, no, we had to do it by hand. Nobody knew if we were right.
That's true, I know.
It was all just pretty much a guess.
I can keep score. I know.
Can you really?
Absolutely.
All right, so you start your bowling game out with 2 strikes, a spare, and a 7. What do you have?
Oh, you can't. You're asking me to do
you're right, though. He's
complicated
right.
math.
He's right about that.
Out of my head.
Dang it.
Like, give me a few minutes to write it down.
A few minutes?
Well, no, I
47.
don't need a few minutes.
Few minutes.
Give me 20 seconds to write it down. I'll give you the score, no problem.
All right, do it. Oh, we'll give you
Okay,
20
so what is it
seconds. We'll
again?
filibuster.
It's 2 strikes,
Okay,
a
strike.
spare,
XX.
and
Okay.
a 7. Yeah.
There.
Wait, what was the 7? Was it like a 4-3?
Yeah,
it was like
we
a
need to know
gutter
if it's coming off the
7?
spare.
It was a 4-3. 4-3.
Okay. All right.
Terrible first shot.
All right, Stugotz,
Just
talk
off a waste
to
of
them.
time.
I'm going to give you a score.
It's a 4-3, so it's 2 strikes, it's a spare, and it's a 7. I have no idea what that adds up to.
I do. Talk
0.
to them. Talk to them.
That's why I look at the screen and it tells me, 42. I'm like, okay, sick. All right.
Do you guys, if you had the choice to choose electronic scoring or writing it down on your own, because I've had this conversation with Greg Cody. No, your dad likes to write it down, Chris. He does.
You guys are old.
No, you need the electronic scoring because you get the turkey animation.
The animations, yeah.
Hey, how do you know if you did something good without the
do?
animations?
Yeah, need the turkey
The animations are the
What?
greatest part about bowling. You have like the JFK one where he's like in the book depository and then it's like, and then the pin explodes.
Yeah,
That's
Some of them are-
definitely your bowling alley, not mine.
You guys didn't see that one, the JFK one?
No, that's probably the deep red one.
Who the fuck wants to bowl with Zaslow if he's taking this long to add up the numbers?
You working on
Seriously.
that?
Okay,
Jesus
I
Christ.
think I have the score.
Yeah, that's exactly what we
I
said every
noticed
time
now
we were done
it's
bowling.
been a little
I
bit
think I have
long
the
since I've
score.
done this, okay?
You were so confident.
Again, strike, spare, 4-3.
4-3. Yes.
I think at the end of that fourth frame, you have 71.
Damn.
I don't think it's anywhere close.
It's definitely close if it's not 100% spot on,
I don't know.
but nobody here is
I've
able to
got
correct
no
me.
idea how to check you on this.
I think it's 71.
AI's telling me it's 57.
Yeah, I think it's 57.
I just put in like bowling score.
Cheater.
Strike, spare, 7, and it said
Where
57.
did I mess up?
When did you put 4-3?
Oh, I didn't put 4-3.
Yeah,
I don't think
4-3 is
that really
important.
matters.
Of course
No,
it does.
it
You're coming
does.
off spare.
No,
Matters
no.
a lot.
right.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
Zaz
'cause
is
He had
right.
the 4 onto the spare, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm telling you, that
14
Google AI.
on
it's 14 onto what is
7, which ends in a 1. So I think Zaz is closer to right, but the
Right.
70s.
Actually, I
sounds
think it might be
ridiculous.
61. I think
Yeah,
it might be
that
60.
sounds
Oh
way
wow!
better.
So no
Wow.
one's right.
I think I fixed it.
Just do the turkey dance.
I think it's 61.
Let's do the turkey dance and let's move on.
So,
Thank you, Izzy.
harder to do these days. Keep score for bowling by hand or keep a box at a baseball game? Can you do a box? If I
haven't-
put it right in front of you right now, Stugotz, you went to the Marlins game and you sit there with a box, would you be able to keep score?
No.
Really?
Probably not. Yeah.
I would be able to, but I'd probably fall asleep in the middle.
Do I have to stay for the whole game?
Yeah, don't make me do that. If I have to stay for 9 innings, no deal.
If you look up they're looking at it on the computer.
Okay, video
69
has
apparently.
calculated it. And what do they have?
Says 69. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. 69. All right,
Dude, did
so
you
I'm not
accidentally
close.
do this one where the score gets you 69?
Yeah, I did.
You're that much of a mathematical genius that off the top of your head, you went 69 with, what was it, strike, spare, 7?
Yeah, 4-3. Yes.
70.
Oh, so I was so close.
If
I had
you-
71.
If you got a 9, if it's strike, 9 spare, 4-3, 70.
Oh, all right.
All right, Zaz, okay.
I'm in the
Well, he got it
ballpark.
wrong. What do you mean, okay?
No, but he's
I
got
was
one
off by
off.
a
I don't
pin.
think the computer's right either.
How dare you doubt computer accuracy?
I'm pretty sure he put in the same numbers twice, and it came up with 2 different answers.
Because it matters what you got on the spare. If you got
Yeah.
a 7 spare or a 9 spare.
And what
Right.
the first
And the 4-3.
roll was.
Yeah, the 4-3 after 2 strikes and a spare.
wow,
So-
I mean, you are drunk.
So Chris, on
up?
like a regular night like last night bowling, you go out there. What's an average score for you?
I average, I believe, 180. My first game, I got a 216. My second game, I got a 177. And, we started going this way. The beers were flowing.
Right.
And the third, I usually actually, because it keeps track of your averages through the whole season, I generally go up. Like my third game, which is surprising. You'd think as the
drunker you get.
right.
Right.
But apparently, kind of like golf, I get a little better as the night goes on. But yeah, I had a good night last night.
Stugotz, you just showed up tonight to a bowling alley. You roll what?
One.
You know, it's not to say roll. That's bowling parlance.
You gotta
Listen,
roll 'em.
I want to be
Yeah.
inclusive.
Right. I would say like a 150 tops. Not bad, right?
That's like what I would do if I just
Yeah.
showed up. I gave 150.
That's what everyone says they would bowl. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but that's just what you say.
Tony, you
What-
show up.
Snooty Boulder right here, by the way. Did you
Yeah.
Did you hear that? He's like, yeah, I bowled 2 something.
Right.
Yeah, I have 180.
Right.
in the
150.
league.
That's what they say.
Do you have a handicap or?
Yeah.
You do.
I average I get 54 pins, so the average is to 230. So what's 230 minus 54? That's my average.
176.
That's my average.
Really?
Tony, you showed up tonight. No bumpers.
No bumpers. Bumpers, I'm in the 150s for sure.
Yes, it's so much
would
higher.
hope.
if
No,
you-
no bumpers. I'm bowling like the thing is
You got to be in the twos. I mean,
no bumpers. I'm bowling 150. No bumpers. I'm bowling like a 96.
Ooh, 96? Yeah. At your bowling alley, you get a nice little animation of Tom Hanks human trafficking kids in an Amway cabinet.
oh, wow.
It's pins though.
Specifically
it's
for
not kids. I don't
96.
know what the kids' situation is. It's pins. Remember, it's a bowling alley.
Mike, you show up tonight. We're bowling.
I don't do bowling.
Oh, wow. Too cool for that. Israel?
Did you say bowling parlance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like language.
You just dropping words on Stugotz like that, and
What are
you
you
expect
rolling?
everybody to just know what you're saying? Like, that's a Dan word,
Yeah.
if I've ever heard one. The answer is 140.
All right.
Really?
With bumpers or no bumpers?
No bumpers. Second game, 2 beers in.
What adult
First game is going to
uses
be
bumpers?
Who knows?
No, bumpers are fun. If you're an adult, you play bumpers game. It's fun.
I know, but if you have bumpers, Tony, you should be in the 200s, don't you think?
You think?
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
He
goes, "You
They have a gutter ball. I mean,
Yeah, but you can get like the last little corner. You can hit a 1, and you're like, come on.
So, Israel, before we get into the really important stuff today.
Maybe 160 if I'm feeling really good.
All right.
I don't do the curve throw thing. I do the straight throw thing.
no.
The curve throw thing is bad for your elbow. Have you
my
tried to
God.
like really curve it? It like hurts your elbow.
You guys sound like
Let's make some
non-bowlers.
content. Or let's say we're going to make content and not actually make the content, but we should do a bowling thing.
So, Israel, you weren't here yesterday? Any observations?
Are you
from-
asking or telling?
I'm kind of both. Any observations from yesterday's show? You got any beef with yesterday's program?
I don't know if it was necessarily a beef. It was funny to me that Greg Cody figured out that his testicles are 2 different sizes after he got hit in them with a tennis ball. That's when he realized, oh, one's a little lower than the other one. And I'm pretty sure that's everybody's, unless you've got some weird stuff going on.
Did you know that, Stugotz?
I did, yes. I've looked at my balls before.
Have you looked at Greg Cody's?
I haven't.
What else you
It's a
got from
little
yesterday,
surprising.
Israel?
From yesterday in particular, not a whole lot, to be honest, because I did have a question for Mike, and it had nothing to do with yesterday's show. There's
Over easy.
I'm an over medium guy.
Sunny side up too. I like a runny egg.
I like down.
I used to like the runny egg. I like a congealed egg.
Can
nowadays.
somebody tell me the difference between over easy and sunny side up?
Yes. Yes, you flip it over real quick, so there's like you still keep the consistency of the yolk, but it has a little thicker over the top.
Sunny side up's never flipped.
Yeah.
Sunny
And-
side up is just
Is it sunny side up that has more likely some uncooked whites around it?
Perhaps.
Yes.
Yes.
It could be
So-
a little snotty, yeah.
There needs to be somewhere in between a little snotty and over medium, because it's never over medium. It's always just works into.
I'll make
over
it a nice
hard.
over medium.
You're Dominican, right? You do the Dominican eggs.
Which one is that?
You
I
don't
mean,
know
I-
the Dominican eggs where you get like the corn oil and you just basically fry them to a
Tregope.
crisp?
I was gonna say every egg I've ever eaten growing up was ridiculously overcooked, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what an actually properly cooked egg tastes like until I was maybe 35.
That's
years
a
old.
that's a Dominican egg.
Yeah, but that was not my question. So
I like the ramen egg.
What could it possibly be?
You know that ramen egg where it's like cut in half
Soft
and it's
boiled
just
egg
like,
is what you
oh,
like. Yeah,
that's
soft
the good
boiled
stuff
egg.
right
So
there.
I was in a Publix the other day, and I was jamming out, and I was like, wow, this song is definitely a potential CVS and Walgreens song, but for the entirety of my life, I've had no idea what this dude is saying in this song. And I wanted to take it back to the 1990s where I couldn't just ask my telephone. And I said, I'm going to wait and ask Mike this question because I'm pretty sure he knows the answer.
Flattered.
Okay, you ready for the song?
Yes.
It goes like this.
Mumble it.
Hey, baby, baby, through the road that I once traveled.
Oh, it's Kitty. Yeah.
What the hell does he say right there?
It is the road that I must travel.
Through
same
the
key.
darkness.
Was that Men at Work?
I
think it
it's
is, yeah.
Mr. Mister.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
If I'm correct.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
It's one of the band names. I
They're
actually
Australian, either way.
Isn't it Kiri Erie?
What the heck is that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
liked. Is that English?
But I think it's Kiri Erie is what
Kiri
they
Erie
say.
what?
Oh, no.
Kitty is a road. And I Googled it. Kyrie Irving came up. But either way, also Australian. Crazy. Maybe they were just foretelling Kyrie.
We are living in a projection, and this is just like a cycle. But no, it's. I have no idea what that person says. I swore that I would throw that out there, and Mike would just be on it. But this might be one of the greatest mysteries of our time.
So I guess it's a name because it's Kiri Illison, and then it goes Kiri Ili. Like it just cuts it off.
What's the Illison, though?
Let me find out. Who's this
Kiri
Illison?
No, Mike's right. I mean, that's what it is.
I don't think it's a name because the E in Ellison is lowercase. What does that mean?
Like,
it's a
I've
Greek
heard-
phrase meaning "Lord have mercy."
Huh.
So the Australians singing in English used a Greek phrase saying "Lord of mercy."
Well, let me confirm
Through
that
the
Mr.
darkness
Mr.
of the night, yes.
Let me confirm that Mr. Mr. is Australian. They are not.
Oh.
So
From Ohio?
yeah,
Delaware, like Dante DiVincenzo.
no, they're from Phoenix, which is way different.
Kyrie has never played in Phoenix. What does this have
I
to do
really
with
did confuse
Kyrie
them with Men
Irving?
at Work, who may not be Australian, and they just saying I came from a land down under, and then I just never fact check it. I just assume that they're Australian.
If you're saying it, right.
No, but the Vegemite sandwich lyric is damning. Yeah, Mr.
Through the road that I once traveled. There's people in supermarkets right now singing along and just going, have no idea, and will go to their deathbed not knowing what that song is, but damn it, it'll play at their funeral.
Well, in the very unlikely event that Mr. isn't from Phoenix, Arizona, and they are actually from Australia, which they are not. There's a lot of Greek influence in Australia. Nick Kyrgios, for example.
I think in this country they're going to have to change their name soon.
Yeah. Izzy, that song's a bit upbeat for a funeral, don't you think? I mean,
It's a celebration of life. Whatever.
Roy, good morning.
Good morning.
hey, bro.
You all right?
Yeah.
I had to drop off clear to school.
First
All
day
right.
of school,
So school traffic kind of.
School is back.
That is quite the transformation, Zaz. I had no idea he was there. I was looking to my right, I was expecting to see Chris, and I see Roy. That is jarring.
Yeah,
Very
ta-da.
sneaky. Very sneaky. All right. Good to have you here, Roy.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you saw yesterday.
Hey, back row, Chris. How are you?
But the Miami Dolphins, that's our local football team, our local professional football team. And they are in Detroit right now because they have a preseason game this weekend at the Lions. But they've been in Detroit for the last couple of days because
Did you say Lions?
they're doing joint practices with the Detroit Lions. I do think, by the way, we're going to get to a place where there's going to be maybe one preseason game, and teams are just going to schedule joint practices. I think coaches would rather joint practices than preseason games because the joint practices, like, it's a controlled environment. It's like, hey, I want to practice red zone. Like, are you okay with that? I want to do this. I want to do this. And in preseason, like, anything can happen. I think I think if you polled NFL coaches, Stugotz, they would tell you we would rather do away with preseason and just do joint practices.
All of the preseason games, I think coaches are such creatures of habit that they feel like they need a couple of games to get their team kind of organized and ready.
Why doesn't college football? I mean, Texas is
It's
playing
a good
Ohio
question.
State week 1. It's
No,
like, here we are.
It's a great question. I don't have the answer for you. Perhaps they're not allowed to do it in college, to play preseason games. I have no idea.
No,
but
they're probably not. But
Right.
the point being, college, where a regular season loss is so much more damaging than in the NFL,
Yes.
they get right out there
Yep.
and they play. And they don't always play, school for the blind in week 1.
Right,
They're
but-
playing a massive game.
Right, but for the most part, when the NFL guys get out there week 1, for the most part, that's the first time they're seeing the field. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone. Joe Burrow obviously saw the field week 1 preseason. But for the most part, I think the preseason is to figure out who's going to be those final guys on the roster, right?
Yep.
So I think, therefore, it has a value to coaches. You want to see them play in a game, Zaz. You do.
So, Israel, you are our main Lions, Detroit Lions
Not just
beat guy.
our.
World's number one.
Thank you.
We're enjoying this hypothetical matchup against Blind You.
How do you think that would go?
It's just, I love the visual.
Like, hut!
Like, no, this way.
Watch the ball. I mean, damn it.
It's over your head.
What are you laughing at, Stugotz?
Blind you.
Israel, did you see all the reports around the team that you covered, the Detroit Lions, yesterday with their joint practice with the Miami Dolphins?
Hit it, Roy.
Thank you.
I did already.
All right, go ahead, Izzy.
Turn my headphones up. Thank you.
Oh, it's Honolulu theme.
Wait for it. There's the lion. He's chilling, though. He's not a crazy lion. Yes, this is the part where my worlds collide here as my expertise on the Detroit Lions, growing expertise. I don't want anybody to challenge me at all, okay? It's a growing expertise, Honolulu blue. Although the wardrobe, getting a little limited right now. I had to wear a Honolulu blue with a bit of a graphic on it today. Who knows what's coming tomorrow? I don't know. But yes, my worlds are colliding here. The reason I got on this Detroit Lions beat was because my Dolphins fandom had just fallen off of a cliff because they're regularly mediocre, and this season gave me no hope. Now they have this joint practice, and what I have confirmed, everyone, the Dolphins are going to be awful this year. Just terrible. The Detroit Lions went into this joint practice saying, we don't know what our problem is. Our offense sucks. Our defense is pretty good, but our offense is terrible. We need something to make us feel better about ourselves. And they got it because the Dolphins came into town, and granted, Tyreek Hill wasn't there or didn't play. Jalen Waddle was limited. They didn't have the right tackle, but they got eaten alive to a point where the Detroit Lions now feel good about themselves, no longer worried about their offense.
Yeah, so the Detroit media who are there, they're getting their first look, obviously, at the Dolphins so far this season, Stugotz. And you should see some of these tweets that were coming out of that practice yesterday from what I assume is Lions media, okay? I mean, all right, so take, for instance, this one. This is Nick Baumgartner. I don't know that fool, but he covers, the Lions, all right? Lions just out everythinged the Dolphins for 2 hours.
That's
out
never
here.
good.
As lopsided a joint NFL practice as I've ever seen.
I can give you more details.
Congratulations to the Lions for winning practice. I mean, who cares?
They didn't just win practice. They won by 70 points. Here's some more details. Safety Brian Branch. You ever heard of Brian Branch?
I don't know that fool.
He forced incompletions on all 3 repetitions he took during one-on-one drills, locking up Taj Washington twice. There goes the Taj Washington hope. And also bumping Eric Ezukanma?
Yeah, receiver.
Off his route.
Yeah.
In the first 7-on-7 period, the Lions foiled 5 straight plays. 5 straight. Okay? TJ Tagovailoa looked terrible. Zach Wilson looked even worse, throwing an interception on his first pass. It was a disgusting display for the Miami Dolphins and made me sort of feel way better about my choice to be a Lions guy this year.
Izzy, I will tell you one thing. Brian Branch, good player.
Oh,
okay.
There's a chance Nick Baumgartner hasn't seen a lot of joint practices.
right, yeah.
He says it's the craziest he's ever seen. Maybe he's only seen a couple.
In fairness to the Dolphins, the team you don't want to play in practice is Dan Campbell and the Lions, right?
Well, they do have Aiden Hutchinson, and he did.
Yeah, but they
sack
practice
to
hard. There's no plays off for
They
anyone on
definitely
Detroit.
practice
Yes.
so hard. You're right.
If
If you looked at those two coaches, Dan Campbell, Mike McDaniel, which team practices really hard? It's a fair observation.
Isn't that the problem with the Dolphins?
Well,
They're considered to be soft,
I
so you
think
would
you're
want
right.
in these joint practices to show that you're not soft.
Well, you
and they're
had
doing
one of the
opposite.
players from the Lions, a defensive tackle, I forget his name, and he said, "I don't think they practice the way we do." Like that's what he said after. Yes. Right. All right. Let me.
No one does.
Let me read you a few more of these tweets from again Detroit media, who's there seeing the Dolphins. All right. This is Colton Pouncey. Now I don't know that fool, but he's there in Detroit. That was the most lopsided joint practice. It's not the same tweet. That was the most lopsided joint practice I've ever seen. Lions dominated both sides. So now you got a couple that are saying the same thing. Now, I've never been around Detroit media. I don't think they all get together and decide, hey, we should all tweet this. These people are watching it like, all right, so let's see another one here, okay? So, again, this is also from a Detroit media member. This guy is called Mike Python. Oh, Mike. No, I don't know that fool. Either the Dolphins are really bad or the Lions are just a juggernaut. Not a great day for Miami, Stugotz.
One of the things that really annoyed me with the Dolphins is their play calling on goal line plays, like short plays. They're always trying this misdirection nonsense, never really fooling anybody, very rarely executing. Here's over an 8-play stretch during a red zone situational period. The Dolphins' first team gained little traction despite trying to sow confusion with misdirection tactics. Several runs went for minimal gains. So basically trying the same shit and not being tough again.
You don't want to show them too much, Izzy. I mean, it's preseason, it's practice,
If you weren't trying to show him too much, you would run that bitch right up the middle instead of all this nonsense.
He's right about that. He is right about that.
Let me read you one more here. All right. So, again, this is from Colton Pouncey. Now, the only reason I know
Back
this
to
guy
Pouncey, huh?
is because
Right.
I already saw a tweet from him.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't know that fool.
Right.
Dolphins offense just ran 16 or so plays in the red zone versus the Lions. Didn't score until the final play between second units. Miami's first-team offense didn't score in the 7 to 8 plays versus Detroit's first-team defense. It was ugly. Lions D is having a day.
I mean, was it 7 or 8 plays?
Seriously.
I mean, geez, are you watching this
You're
practice
there,
or not?
right?
Including the punts.
How do you not know?
Now, we were hearing the same kind of stuff last week when they were doing the joint practice with the Bears. And I understand, like, Mike McDaniel after the practice, like, Detroit players are saying they don't think that you guys know how to practice. They don't practice the same way. And Mike McDaniel chalks it up to the whole, there's a lot of noise, and that's all it is. It's just noise around us. But, man, like, we're going into a season. You got these 2 joint practices where it seems like the other team kind of thinks you're a joke. You got Jalen Ramsey out there talking about no one respects the head coach. The major buzzword around the Dolphins right now is culture. And, of course, and by the way, you got the Tyreek Hill situation. I don't know, man. Like, it's a lot of things that are out there right now that would signal the Dolphins might be sneaky, terrible team this year.
I don't think it's sneaky at all. Amon-Ra St. Brown said that the, quote, white elephant in the room was that their offense had been terrible all the way up to the joint practices. Detroit's offense had been terrible all the way up to these practices.
Until they saw the Dolphins' defense.
And now they're totally comfortable. They're fine with their offense. My question there being is he conflating 2 different phrases? The white elephant in the room, isn't that a game? Isn't it a pink elephant
white
in the room?
elephant.
It's just an elephant.
Yeah, the white elephant in the room is a nice little present. Who knows? It's a mystery.
Right. So it's confusing, but I'm pretty sure we know he's basically saying the Dolphins.
Isn't white elephant like Yankee swap for Christmas, right?
For
That same game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
That's what they call it in Tony's house, Yankee swap.
Are you concerned
His
about the
bowling
Dolphins
alley.
because of
Thank you.
practice?
Don Carter's and Kendall, rest in peace, by the way. I have the animation that I was talking about that they played at Don Carter's.
You guys have to see this.
Can we
I know
bring this
Stugotz
up real
asked a
quick?
question, but for a moment, let's pause this.
This was
because,
Don Carter's
okay.
circa 1998-ish that you would bowl a strike and this would happen.
Oh, yes, the Videotron, which, okay. So it's, oh my God.
Wow.
They
Oh,
put a
wait.
face
So you have the bowling ball
on the
and then-
bowling
and
pin.
the pin is JFK and then
And Jackie O.
yeah, and
in
then
the back of the Cadillac.
bam, and then guess what? Thumbs up, you got a strike, baby.
Whoa.
Nailed it, the Terminator.
Too soon. What
Whoa.
the hell?
So I remember seeing that in my childhood, being like, yeah, okay, cool. No.
That is crazy.
And you see how they made the shooter blue?
All right, so again, because this is for some people it's not a visual medium. You bowl a strike and like a cool video comes on the screen, makes you excited for your great accomplishment. And they show a cartoon. It's a blue circle, stickman kind of guy.
Smiley face.
God,
It's a bowling ball, yeah.
Now.
That's why it's
it's a bowling ball guy.
Yeah, the eyes are holes.
And he's a sniper. He's
are.
in a building and he's peering out the window. And with his sniper gun, he shoots and kills JFK.
It's a pin, though. It's a
The
pin.
bowling
It's a
pin.
pin.
The bowling
Bowling
pin.
pin,
Right.
bowling pin,
Just
yeah.
has his face on it. Right.
It has JFK's face on the bowling pin.
And then just to make it worse, they take the X, which is the sign for the strike, and they crush something and they call it the X-Terminator. That's effed up.
That's crazy.
Don Carter's early 90s. You had to be there.
Wow. Stugotz, you asked me, am I concerned about the Dolphins because of practice? No, I'm not concerned about the Dolphins because of practice. Right. I'm concerned about the Dolphins because of all the things that I just laid out to you. Like, for instance, like Chris Greer's doing the thing again. You've noticed this, right? Where fans and media, like Chris, if I were to ask you, what is the thing about the Dolphins, personnel-wise, what is the thing about the Dolphins that you are concerned most about right now going into this
What's
season?
the white elephant in
The
the room?
worst cornerback room I've ever seen.
Right. That's what the fans and the media are questioning right now is the cornerbacks and the secondary minus Minka Fitzpatrick. And Chris Greer's doing the thing again where it's you all seem to be a lot more concerned about that than we are. And we did the exact same thing with the offensive line last year where he literally in front of everybody, he laughed and said, you guys are a little bit more concerned about that than we are. And as we learned, there was reason to be concerned about it.
What would you like Chris Greer to say? We're not good at that position. I wasn't doing my job. No, he's going to say, I'm confident in the cornerbacks that we have, of course.
Don't put yourself in position to be caught and just to be dead wrong midway through the season. Like when all your fans are like, we told you the cornerback situation was going to be a problem and you're getting lit up for 400 passing yards every game, then what's he going to say at that point? You probably should say, hey, yeah, we're taking some chances on some guys. We're trying just because obviously we don't have the big names that you're used to, and then try to, manage the situation if you're struggling. But right now saying, we're not worried about it the way you guys are. If you get lit up, you're fired.
The Dolphins might be the first NFL team in history to not play a single play in man coverage all season. I think they're going to play zone defense the entire season. I'm telling you, dude, these cornerbacks, I could be out there.
I don't think you could.
I could.
Chris,
How's your back pedal?
You're hurting from bowling.
That's true.
Okay, now, everything we just said about this joint practice yesterday, which, people think the Dolphins were an abomination. Preseason game 2 this Saturday afternoon, Dolphins-Lions. Like, what if they play well? Like, what if the Dolphins... It's 24-24 again, just like it's the Bears. They look like shit against the Bears. It was 24-24. Like, what happens if... All right, they looked okay.
No, but that's my point. Like, you guys are down on the Dolphins because of a couple of lousy practices and reports from guys you've never heard of. And would you be surprised if the Dolphins go to Indianapolis and win in week 1? No. There's no way anyone would be surprised. If the Dolphins start 2-0, you would not be surprised.
Who's the second game?
Patriots at home. You wouldn't be surprised.
Stu, I would be surprised if Tua makes it through all the snaps in the first 2 games.
Right.
I would be shocked if he makes it through all the snaps through the entirety of the season.
You forget he played all 17 games 2 years ago.
He did.
2 years ago, right. So you're holding up 1 year out of how many?
This is
okay, so the odds are in my favor. And if he doesn't play the entire season again, your backup is a name that we recognize who has looked the worst of all the backups that we've seen in preseason.
Get off my team.
And so what exactly are we to feel good about? A miracle season maybe? I guess that's what we have hope for.
How could it be a miracle season if you know going into it there's no reinforcements coming for the secondary?
I don't understand miracles. They just happen.
Okay, touche. That's true. But your corners are weak. Your safeties are okay. Minka, I guess, could be somewhat decent.
No, safety's an improvement. Javon Holland sucks, and Minka Fitzpatrick is good. So that's an improvement.
He's on the kind of downturn of his career.
We could say the same thing about Jalen Ramsey, though.
Sure. But your secondary is toast. There's nobody there. And it's like there's nobody else coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
already
guess
lost your best corner for the season.
By the way, you see Chop Robinson yesterday.
He says he's fine.
I don't understand. If a cart comes out and takes you out, you better be on the verge of a leg amputation. You can't come back and say, it was my collarbone, all right, and all's good. Because he did. Like, he came back and he said, everything's good, nothing serious. He went out on a cart.
I texted my Dolphin people. I'm like, no carts unless it's serious. And their reasoning, it's a far way. Yeah. Like, the practice field to where they're taking him is just like, what are you going to make a guy with a hurt elbow walk 400 yards?
Does that change your opinion? I mean...
They're wearing a bunch of pads,
but I want to know
too.
right away. I want someone to tell me. I want it to be
have
shouted
2 golf
from
carts.
the cart.
We need a golf cart for everything's okay golf cart and a golf cart with like, whoa, this is not good.
Just need a ride golf cart and an injury golf cart.
Right.
Yes, right. I like that.
Like they should decorate, like, man, I don't know if you make it dark. Like, put a siren on the important one.
Yes.
I don't know what
like
we do.
Like an ambulance.
Yes. Right. 2 golf carts. A nothing's wrong golf cart.
Right.
And a shit's hit the fan golf cart.
Like that.
Unless anyone else has anything else on the Dolphins, I do want to get on to something that was pretty awesome last night.
Anybody have anything else on a terrible team?
No,
we're good.
All right.
Wait, one final point. The Cuban relationship with JFK is completely different than Americans.
Still?
So you're saying a Cuban made that graphic.
If that's playing at Don Carter.
Did a Cuban own that Don Carter
Don
bowling
Carter's
league?
very Cuban. So
You think he took shots every time that one came up? It's like, oh, he bowled a strike. Are you ready? Which one's it going to be? It's JFK, dead again.
Just providing context for the rest of the nation.
Yes.
What year do you think that was, Tony?
I'm being told 95 in my ear. So around 98, 99, when I would be bowling as a kid, 7, 8, 9 years old, that's what I would see.
That's still feeling the residual effects of the Bay of Pigs.
30 years, that's nothing.
What a time to be alive, man. Unbelievable.
What a terrible invasion.
So last night, the Marlins won at the Guardians last night. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Whatever. They're 4 games under 500. No big deal. But you see what this Jacob Marcy did last night?
No.
So Jacob Marcy.
Who is Jacob Marcy?
All right, that's a fair question. It's Jacob Marcy. He was the prize prospect in last year's Luis Arise trade. Remember, we all freaked out.
Okay,
oh
back
my
up
God.
real quick. Who's Luis Arise?
Oh, come
come on.
Get out of here.
Oh, you kidding?
What are you doing? By the way,
There's definitely people listening asking the same damn question.
Oh, come on. Terrible day, by the way, for Billy and Jeremy not to be here, though. But Jacob Marcy was the prize prospect they got in return, and he made his debut. It was like a week and a half ago. He made his debut with the big league club, and he came right away. Like, first game, he was great, and he's been great. Last night, he was 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 7 RBI in the Marlins' 13-4 win.
When are they trading him?
He has an OPS right now, Stugotz.
Yeah.
You know what OPS is?
No.
On base plus slugging.
That doesn't seem like enough letters, right? OPS for on base plus slugging. I feel like it needs one more.
You want it to be an OBPS.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Plus.
Then I would have knew. Right.
You could start that movement. He has an OPS of 1,400 right now.
Is that a lot?
That's good.
That's like Barry Bonds. All right.
It's better than Bonds, I think.
I think it's better than Bonds. I mean, I don't know. Is that something to be super excited about? Like, is it possible they got one of these kids who is just going to be a superstar? Like finally, did they trade a player for a prospect that is going to be like a serious dude?
I'm gonna go more macro. Like, obviously Marcy, we're gonna see what he turns out to be. But overall, it seems like this Bendix guy knows. That's the part. It just seems like guys that we've acquired are turning out to be decent, which is not something we're used to down here.
And then I see like these highlights of, hey, look who we got, in the minors right now. This pitcher and this pitcher, they're mowing people down. I don't know. Like, is Peter Bendix look like a dork when they signed him? They brought him in. I don't know. Maybe this guy knows what he's doing.
I'm glad you went to Chris for expertise on that because right before you started talking about, what's his name?
The president of the team?
No, the player.
Oh, Jacob Marcy.
Yeah, Chris called him Jacob Mars.
I didn't. Don't undercut me like that.
Why is he saying you did
It just
that?
didn't say it on air, but he said it.
This is gross what's happening right now.
What's his OPS?
It's 1,400.
All right, Bonds' best season was 1422. That's crazy.
I don't know. It feels like a little something to get excited about. Yeah, a good player, it looks like.
I think he's got to keep it up for a little while longer.
I get it. I understand.
How
But it's
many
okay for the
games
Marlin
has?
fan to be excited about something. Maybe like 10 games.
I mean, Bonds did it for a season.
And I understand. I get it. All right. He's Barry Bonds,
Yes.
the greatest player I've ever seen.
Right, but you're excited.
I just, as someone who has not paid very much attention to the Marlins this year, I don't know. That's something I feel like that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun. All right. There you go. So, yeah, something to keep track of.
You know what, Zaz? I'm going to back you up.
I'm not
on
going to
this.
keep track of
I
it.
have
I
not
mean-
watched the Marlins in forever.
You know what?
This
The
is
only
not backing
way
him up.
for them to get me back is tell me we got the next Barry Bonds.
Did you know you can watch the pitch clock on Le Batard Show YouTube page?
You can watch and listen.
Yeah, you can listen to it. You can watch it, preferably.
Right. Because sometimes you start a YouTube video and it's on mute. So I'm like, hey, why isn't this sound working?
Yeah, make sure you turn up that volume.
And then you hit the volume thing.
Yeah, and when you do that, you'll see a trivia game between me and Chris.
Oh.
That's hosted by Taylor, of course. And then Adnan Verk. He's going to be here. He's a staple, man.
What a time.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time to be alive. We're going to talk about all sorts of different things, including one of the hottest teams in the American League, the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep.
They've been tremendous. We also have to highlight a couple of stars that include a former Marlin and another player that's back with his original team. So, some cool stuff.
I love a good highlighter.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, go watch the Pitch Clock on the Le Batard Show YouTube channel. We have a playlist. You should go subscribe to it. Can you do that on a playlist? I don't know. Go watch all those videos and put them on auto replay because we want views. Anyway, see ya Thursdays and also I think Fridays sometimes on Le Batard. You know, enjoy.
Back to you, Dan.
I don't know where Dan is, but it's me and Zaz. I know your son Cody knows very well what's happening this weekend.
Corey,
my bad.
Oh, that's a fine.
That is a fine.
Yes.
Do we have fines for misnaming children?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
children.
It should be.
Yeah. All right, so Corey knows what's happening this weekend.
Yeah.
UFC 319. DDP Dricus Duplessis versus Hamza Chimaev.
This was the one that's in Chicago, right?
This is the one
This
that's
was
in
the one my
Chicago.
son wanted to go
This is
to.
the one that he's going to, right?
No, he's now postponed. He's going to go to the one at the Garden, he thinks.
He thinks. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to
Do
New
you
York
think
now.
or no?
The Mecca.
I don't think, but he thinks.
Okay, excellent. You know what he can do though on Saturday night?
Clean that town up.
What he can do on Saturday night is watch the boys on MMA Hangout live at Casa Tiki, Dead Flamingo, for UFC 319. We'll be starting at 10 p.m. If you want to make it out to the Dead Flamingo on 8th Street, on Calle Ocho, they're doing a 90s party, 90s themed party at the bar. So we'll be hanging out, watching the fights all night. You can come, chill with the boys.
I think my son wants to come.
Dude, send him through.
Yeah.
Send him through.
Uncle Tony, going to watch him that night?
If he wants to be on the show, he could be on the show.
I think he wants to, actually. Yeah.
Dude, if he knows his stuff, obviously, clearly.
Yep.
He loves the Arab fighters.
Loves the Arab fighters.
So he's going to be locked in.
Is it a 21 and over establishment?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sure he has a fake ID. I mean,
Anyways, if he wants to watch on YouTube, you can watch on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, anywhere that you get your streaming for the Le Batard Show. MMA Hangout presented by Boost Mobile. We'll be live at Dead Flamingo 10 p.m. when the main card starts. We'll be rocking all night. If you want to show up, 90s themed party at Dead Flamingo, MMA Hangout presented by Boost Mobile, UFC 319. Let's
Awesome,
go.
man. Awesome. Let's bring aboard David Samson. Nothing personal with David Samson every day. Hello, David. How are you this morning?
So take these broken wings. Hello?
Hello.
Are we singing Mr. Mister? We're done with that?
Israel,
are done.
I can't
for
get
you,
it out of
man.
my mind.
I must travel.
All right, what are the other words, Stugotz?
It's Kyrie liaison, and I always thought that it was French for like a liaison, but what I just heard from Mike earlier in the show last hour is that it's a person. I didn't know that.
Kyrie Irving.
David, can you help me out here? You saw Jacob Marcy for the Marlins last night.
Bonds.
I mean, 1,400 OPS right now. I know it's some would
10
say,
games as.
Some would say small sample size. I get it. But I don't know, like when you're running a team and you see, obviously he's not going to be this guy that we're seeing right now, but is it worth being really excited about in such a short period of time?
I don't want to be that guy, but I'll give you two names to ponder. One, Kevin Moss. Now, that's a bit of an older name.
Great
that
name.
many of you may not know. Stugotz definitely knows that name.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Boy, that guy was hot.
Yes.
And now what? I assume now he's a farmer, which is not bad to be a farmer, but it's just not a professional baseball player. I picture him like John Lovitz with Gina Davis in League of Their Own, like doing milking of cows. Two, remember Abraham Nunez? This is more for Mike in the old days, maybe Billy not there, definitely not Izzy. That guy was hot on the Marlins during spring training. He was leading the Grapefruit League in home runs. You know what? I'm in on Marcy because it's cool to watch, but it's baseball. You cannot think, Izzy, that he's the next Barry Bonds, so all of a sudden you got to start watching the team. He's got a long way to go to be Barry Bonds.
You knew that about Moss, right? Because he's the president of Mount Vernon's Farm Power. So you knew that, right?
I swear to Stugotz. That's a great Stugotz Samson moment. I had no idea that he's even Googleable anymore. No, I didn't know what he was, but clearly he's got to be running something because he certainly did not get the pension from MLB.
I've pieced it all together, and no, Kitty Eleison is not an actual person. I'm very bad husband because my wife is Greek Orthodox, got married in a Greek Orthodox church. They always say Kitty Eleison, and I'm like, what is that thing? That's super catchy. That's just like a Greek saying. It's not a person.
So I've been pretty close when I've just been going. I mean, that's pretty damn cool.
It's like every Pearl Jam song.
I've been doing Kitty Eleison anytime I go to Mass, like anytime, and I just pieced it together.
It really rolls off the tongue for you, too. Do it again.
Kitty Eleison. That's what the Greek Orthodox priests do.
That sounds like any church has that sort of cadence or any synagogue. But that's not the Mr. song. The Mr. song is Kyrie eleison. I think it's way more enunciated in the song.
That's because they're not actually Greek, but these are like Greek Orthodox priests that have to hit the right inflection.
Nor are they Australian.
Yeah, that one was unfortunate on my behalf.
So I guess, David, like I understand the points you're making there, and I remember Abraham Nunez, but was Abraham Nunez like the prize prospect that they got back in return for an all-star who led the National League in, batting average?
Listen, do you know, going back to the game last night, the pick of the day on Nothing Personal was the Orioles and a former Marlin named Trevor Rogers, who's turned out to be exactly what the Marlins thought. They're so good at developing pitchers. But that trade with the Orioles was really for Connor Norby, not for Kyle Stowers. Kyle Stowers was a throw-in, and now, look, he's the star. So you can't really necessarily look at, this was the trade where we traded this player and we got back this star prospect, because pretty often it turns out to be Dontrelle Willis was a throw-in. It turns out to be that you don't really know what you're getting until it happens. And so that's why evaluating these trades or looking at it's a new thing now. The farm system rankings are out and everyone's jumping all over themselves. Hey, look, the #1 farm system. Who cares? I want to know who the best team in baseball is at the big league level. And to do that, you need good players of every age.
Jeremy actually pointed out to me, to your point, that Marcy wasn't even the main piece in that trade. Dylan Head was the bigger piece in that trade. So it turned out that, Marcy's sneaking up there.
Well, it's, as a matter of fact, who knows how it will turn out, but it's right now. It's turning out now. You always like to see it. The Marlins have been great with young players. We've done that as an organization for so long. There was the Ramirez, the catcher. When he came up, I don't think he made an out, and it was this unbelievable thing. And now he's still right there in the talk for Rookie of the Year, top 5, top 8. But with Baldwin, it's not going to happen. But in any case, there's always reason for optimism when young players do well, because you feel like there's an opportunity to have overperformance for a number of years before they get expensive in arbitration. And you need a bunch of players like that in order to win. But you don't have to have heard of these players. How many Milwaukee Brewers can you name other than Yelly and maybe Peralta and maybe Woodruff and maybe Josh Hader and Devin Williams? But how many current Brewers can you name? And they're the best team in baseball by a lot.
John Jaha,
Richie Sexton,
Jeremy Burnitz,
Robin
Fernando
Yount,
Vigna, Ben Sheets,
George Scott.
David, David, this is funny because Kevin Moss had 21 homers. He was second in the Rookie of the Year voting in the American League. He had 21 homers in like 60-some-odd games and was out of the big leagues 4 years later. So
he was on the back page of the New York Post or Daily News. What seemed to me, obviously, I'm thinking and revising history, but it seemed like every day. Right. And he was and as I also recall, he sort of looked like Rob Lowe.
He did, yes.
And so there was a lot of he was a matinee idol who was crushing home runs. He looked like Adonis, and guess what? Never got to free agency.
J.J. Hardy.
Oh, he's good.
Jeff Cirillo.
Oh, Cirillo.
Oh, God. Deep cut.
Teddy
Prince
Aguirre.
Fielder.
Yes. Correct.
David, who was the prospect you were so sure of was going to be what you thought he was going to be, and he just, didn't amount to it?
That we traded for?
Yeah.
Or that we drafted?
Like you traded one of, the Marlins star players for.
Well, he turned out to be great. We traded for a prospect named Hanley Ramirez, who turned out to be a really good one. And when I was told, I didn't know who he was. That's another funny thing when GMs are talking about the prospects they trade for. They don't know these guys. You get it from your baseball people who are scouting the systems of the other teams. The GMs don't go around to minor league games. They don't go around to see these guys. They see some video, maybe a bit, but you're counting on your scouts and on your people who are in scouting and professional scouting to give you the names, and then you count on your GM to give the president the name. But I was told, hey, listen, Hanley Ramirez and Annabelle Sanchez, you'll forget about Beckett, and they're taking Lowell's money. Well, I didn't forget about Beckett and Lowell, but man, Annabelle Sanchez and Hanley Ramirez were two good Marlins.
All right, so it's literally the opposite of what I asked you, though.
Kyrie lays on down the road that I must travel.
David, do teams ever, like, if let's say you have a prospect who's like maybe a top 10 guy, but we don't really like this guy in-house, so we're going to actually call him our third best prospect so that teams think he's better than he actually is?
Does that happen?
The Yankees change their prospect order, just so you know, when they're doing a whole bunch of trades. Like, you can't pay attention ever when you're trading with the Yankees to what number prospect it is, because it's all made up all the time. And we would laugh with Cashford about this because they pump their prospects. We would meet with our scouts and with our media and say, listen, we're going to be talking about the following 5 players right now because they stink and we want to move them, but we want to pretend they're super good. So we're going to say that they're our third ranked. Sometimes we'll give like minor league player of the year to someone so they can have that on their resume. There's all sorts of shenanigans that goes on because the media and fans look at these rankings and say, oh, look, you traded this guy for the number 2, 4, and 7 prospect of the other team's system. It's horse hockey.
Mm-hmm. I made a mistake. I got the wrong Kevin Moss. The Kevin Moss we're talking about is a financial advisor and doing very well. He is a millionaire for Charles Schwab. So I don't know what happened there.
It's MAAS. Kevin Moss is the former Yankee. Did you go MOSS? Where'd you go there?
No, I went Kevin Moss. There's just another Kevin Moss out there. Yes. Who's a farmer.
But he still was only in the big leagues 4 years, and he still looks like Rob Lowe.
Correct. Yes, on both.
So we got that right.
Yes.
So, David, speaking of millionaires, what do you make of what's going on in the Portland Trailblazers? The Allen estate, they sell to the group that owns the Carolina Hurricanes. What's going on there in Portland?
Well, the guy who owns the Hurricanes, that's in Raleigh, and the thought was that Portland could relocate, but they're not relocating to Raleigh. There's already a team in that area, and it's the Charlotte Hornets. So people in Portland can rest easy, but they've got a big situation with a new arena. There's going to be a lot of public money that's asked for to get a new arena there because their lease runs out in 2030. And they did something just recently. So the team was sold by Paul Allen's sister, who was running all the teams that Paul Allen owned after Paul croaked. And you have the Trailblazers, the Seahawks, and the Seattle Sounders. And all these are going to be sold for the benefit of charity. But it's taken 7 years. Like, these charities are like, man, we need some cash. What's going on here? Finally, though, the teams are being sold. And what happened is the guy from Carolina is going to be on a plane back and forth because that team's not leaving Portland anytime soon. And it has nothing to do with Lillard. It has nothing to do with Chris Dudley or Cliff Robinson, rest in peace. But it does have to do with the fact that the NBA does not want any relocation. Right. They want expansion. And you can't mess around with relocation when you're trying to get expansion fees.
Man, I'm taken aback how
Paul Allen croaked.
Yeah.
Kick the bucket.
Well,
harsh.
What word would you like me to use?
The word that you used for Uncle Cliffy. You said passed away.
Well, I know Uncle Cliffy. I don't know Paul Allen.
Oh, all right.
I miss Uncle Spliffy. God, was he good and fun.
David, the Milwaukee Brewers have won 12 in a row after yesterday afternoon's game. Like, is this a team that could wind up making a run in the postseason?
No.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be because they're peaking. You can't peak in August. It's the worst plan. It's like sort of finishing everything like while you're still at the movie and you're like, well, wait a minute, we have a whole night ahead of us. You just don't want to do that. You want to time it right. I'd rather see which team's going to be hot toward the end of September heading into October. And you really don't want to be the team that runs away with the best record because then you sort of lose that edge. But it's exciting. Right now, they're eating burgers. That's a giveaway. What would we do? What's a great guess in Miami if we would give away like a free empanada Is that the equivalent? If the Marlins ever won 12 in a row, how many people would get online for a free empanada? Because in Milwaukee, what they're telling me is they like free stuff better than anybody in the country. And I said, that's not true. Everybody likes free stuff.
Stugotz, have you ever been at a game throughout your life and you have the ticket stub for the game that you were at where you get the free whatever, the free sandwich,
free pizza,
and then you actually go and use it?
Never. No.
I've never done it. I've never done it either.
Right.
Anyone here done that? You take, I mean, maybe
You go
after
cash
the,
it in,
after the
right.
Marlins game or after the Dolphins game, Dolphins win, you go to Tootsie's, you got your tickets, free entry. That was a thing. Anyone ever use? I've never done it before.
So the Heat had a promo where I think if there was 2 missed free throws, you would get free Chick-fil-A, but they would send the app directly to the app. So I didn't have to have the ticket or whatever. So it would be like, oh, somebody missed 2 free throws, Heat get free chicken sandwich. All you got to do is go to Chick-fil-A and show them this. And then I was like, all right, perfect.
The
So-
Papa John's when the Heat win, 50%
Oh,
off
everyone's
the
used
next
that.
week.
Yeah.
All the time.
But you don't
Also-
have to go
Cats
anywhere.
win, too.
Right, you could just order.
Didn't have to go anywhere. I would say probably the Pollo Tropical one, where you have to like scan something and then go through all this trouble, is probably the most effort I've ever put in through those.
And it requires effort to get the free burgers. And these George Webb stores in Milwaukee, they're not really in the suburbs. They're in the city of Milwaukee. And believe me, there are people lining up to get the free burgers because it's free burgers. You might as well. But they're using a voucher system because the damn Brewers keep winning 12 in a row. They did it in 1987, then they did it in 2018, and now they're doing it again in 2025. And George Webb did this sponsorship thinking, that'll never happen. I'm pretty sure, guys, the Marlins have never won as a franchise 12 in a row. It's super hard to win 12 in a row. Even the Yankees, I'd like to know when the last time they won 12 in a row. So it's not about wins and, a franchise that you think is small payroll versus large payroll. But that George Webb, there's going to be a lot of people getting vouchers today, and they're going to be eating free burgers.
David, I found this story super interesting that Kansas University has received a $300 million donation from David Booth, who went to the University of Kansas. We're going to start seeing more and more of this in college sports, are we not?
Panther winger, too.
Paying a lot of money down in Australia, man.
Sawgrass Express.
The Marlins are the only MLB franchise to never win 10 games in a row.
Love it. Yeah.
David Booth question.
Yes.
Back to you, David.
Yes.
I would just say that everyone who's talking about the rankings and the Power Four conferences, and I know, Mike, that means a lot in terms of Miami and all the conferences, but don't we agree that the conferences now and the power of the team is just based on the power of the alum and the willingness of an alum to become a huge, huge donor? And I don't mean like a celebrity becoming the assistant GM of the team. I'm talking about finding someone who's willing to write a check, because with $300 million and what they're pretending is happening in Kansas is that it's being used to refurbish an arena. It's being used for capital expenditures, but they're misleading you, because that money would have come from the athletic department in the school. Now it's going to come from David Booth, which means the athletic department in the school has more money to spend on other things because dollars are fungible. So they don't want you to believe that this is something other than what it is, which is trying to buy greatness. And I'm all for it. If you have an alum who's wealthy and willing to give money, I think it's the biggest gift ever. And maybe they want to become like Texas Tech, where you just start buying your way into success. But I assume that's what the NCAA wanted.
Here's what I don't understand, and Mike can probably help out a little bit here. Aren't we, like, I thought there were rulings this summer where there's going to be like a cap and only a certain amount of money that you're able to spend in the athletic department.
Right.
When is all that happening?
That's a good question.
Right? Like,
No, I mean, it ain't happening now.
It's not now.
It ain't happening now.
You have someone overseeing this. I mean,
Yeah, and also you can make a gift to an institution and have it expressly not go to NIL. You're talking facilities, I imagine.
well, he said $75 million of the 300 apparently is going toward renovation of the stadium, I think.
Yeah, I think people are also viewing this through because of the business of college football. Keep in mind they have a really great basketball program, rich in tradition that I imagine we'll get in that game. The cap is something that these institutions want to have in there because they want to limit the amount of money that these players can make, and it'll get challenged in court, and it'll probably lose unless the NCAA is given full autonomy, and even then these things can get challenged individually in courts. We're a long way from a solution, I think.
But what's happening now, Mike, is that you have teams and you have presidents of teams and athletic directors who are trying to identify these alums who are willing to make life-changing generational type gifts because it can change a program. And Kansas, you're right. I mean, from Danny Manning on down, that's an old reference, which I apologize,
No,
but
it's not.
their basketball.
It's the only reference. I mean,
There's a lot, and I think you're thinking small by thinking alums. I know for a fact many of Miami's biggest supporters, boosters, donors, they're not alums.
yeah, but David is right. If you're a school, every school has successful alums, right? And so if you have one at your school who is willing to support and finance the athletic program, you're in the game. I mean, that's it.
And that's the scary part, Stugotz, because what happens if all of a sudden you've got an alum from a school that's not in the Power Four conferences, and that school becomes a juggernaut, not just for a season, but over the course, and it builds on each other, and it becomes a decades-long thing. That's what they're trying to do with Kansas, for sure. They're trying to make the football program better like the basketball program. So it's a very bizarre thing, what's going on with the House settlement, with all of the caps that are supposed to be in place and the players getting paid, because it's all still a mess. And when things are messy, that's when people start maneuvering within the cracks and they start filling the holes of misinformation or lack of information with whatever it is they want to do. And that's why you're going to see a lot of disparate schools doing disparate things that some may say are nefarious. All of that is just starting, in my opinion, Mike.
Hatred for the NCAA reaches across the aisle. If you look at some of the Justice Kavanaugh, Justice Thomas, they've ruled against the NCAA routinely. Now, we have top-to-bottom buy-in on the conservative side of the aisle now, unlike we've ever seen. If I know the executive order out there, the so-called Trump Saves College Sports executive order, was a big nothing burger because it made things against the rules that were already against the rules. It was just, some would call it a distraction. From what I don't know. Seems to be a lot of those these days. But we'll see. When this thing gets to Congress and makes its way to the Supreme Court, when it inevitably gets challenged, it'll be curious to see because there is a lot of disdain for the NCAA. And unless people listen to marching orders from up top, which does happen with this president more than others, I don't see the NCAA really winning in the end. And if they do win, it'll be short-lived before we go to private equity Super League time.
Private equity is something that the president has not gotten involved in terms of private equity availability for money to buttress budgets of schools. And you've got athletic directors out there saying, no, we're not going to go the private equity route. Those are called famous last words because you pretty much go with whatever route you have to balance your budget because every athletic director has to do that. And they want to compete because they want their own extensions and they want to get paid. So it really is a never-ending cycle of looking for more sources of money. The pro leagues are already there. Private equity is needed to get these, like the Cowboys at $12 billion valuation. Guess what? There is nobody who's going to write a $12 billion check to buy the Cowboys from Stephen Jones or whoever inherits it from Jerry when Jerry croaks. But private equity will certainly be a part of that equation. And that's why the NFL, the NBA, MLB now is working through that. How to get your valuations higher and higher means you have to take private equity money.
You mentioned Jerry Jones, and when he croaks, I know you probably saw the story.
He gets
yesterday.
the croak treatment, right?
Well, you saw he's been battling. He battled and conquered.
He survived it. Yes.
Stage 4 cancer, and he'd been battling with that for a decade. Not like Jerry Jones to be keeping a secret like that. So, I mean,
it's an amazing thing, Mike. And listen, we've all had cancer touch us. That's why we stand up for cancer. And when I read that, I felt terribly for him because stage 4 cancer usually is sort of game over. And he was able to get into a trial and get medicine. But then he said in the same sort of time, I like making news because that's what keeps people talking Cowboys. We don't have to win anything. We just need people talking about us, and our valuation keeps going up, up, and up. And then this came out. Now, I am not cancer shaming because he is a cancer survivor. However, I can tell you that it was surprising that he didn't talk about it because it's the perfect thing to talk about. You get a little sympathy. You get a little increase in the bump of your team. Like there's a few positives that could have come of it, and he kept it very quiet till now.
I get what you're saying, even though it sounds crass, but in the last 10 years, Jerry Jones has had some scandals that would have been softened by, just volunteering this stage 4 cancer
He
battle.
saved it for the Micah Parsons negotiations. I mean,
Ace card there.
Can you imagine Jerry Jones doing the math of when he should release the fact that he's got stage 4 cancer? He's like, wait a minute, I got Prescott right now. This may be the time, but
He's
crikeys,
doing polling
I got
behind
Parsons.
the scenes.
Yes.
now, Jerry.
David,
They
I saw
decided to shoot the bullet now.
David, I saw the Minnesota Twins. They put out a statement yesterday. What's going on there with them selling or not selling the team?
So that team's for sale, like the Nationals are for sale, like the Angels are for sale, like the Marlins are for sale. Although the Marlins aren't for sale, but if someone came with a big price, everything's for sale. And the Twins were going to be bought by a guy named Justin Ishbia, who you may know as the brother of Matt Ishbia, who you may know as the not savior of the Phoenix Suns. And Justin Ishbia was ready to go. And then he said, well, wait a minute. I don't like schlepping to Minnesota. I spend my time in Chicago. Let's wait for Reinsdorf to croak. So he ended up buying the White Sox from Reinsdorf once Reinsdorf dies. And so now there was no one to buy the Twins. So what the Pohlad family did, the owners of the Twins, is they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to write a letter to our fans saying we thought about selling the team, but we have such passion. We love Minnesota and Minnesotans so much that we're not selling the team. That's because no one offered them the price they wanted. So that's an issue for the commissioner. He's got to get these teams sold because he's got to get valuations that like what the NBA are getting because they don't want to fall too far behind. They can't even see the NFL from here, but they got to get some of these teams that are for sale sold at good numbers.
Stugotz, you notice no one blinked an eye when David used croaked for Jerry Reinsdorf.
No, he deserves that, Jerry Reinsdorf.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's harsh, but no one seemed to mind.
I don't find croak to be pejorative. I find it to be an adjective.
David, are you surprised that the Celtics, the Lakers sold for $10 billion? I was kind of surprised to see the Celtics go for $6.1 billion. I thought it would be closer to 10.
So the Celtics didn't go for 6-1 that, and I understand the mistake because it's been wrongly reported. The way the Celtics transaction is working is that there are several payments that are being made by the Chisholm Group to Wick, who was the governor and is not going to be anymore, meaning he's selling the Celtics, but he's actually getting paid in installments. It's not a step transaction like A-Rod. It's installments. And the second installment is way bigger than the first from a valuation standpoint, which means the entirety of the team is worth well more than 6. You're going to find, and you're going to read this, just not today, that it's going to be north of 7. But still, that has the Lakers way above that, like a 40% higher than the Celtics valuation. And that's just either an overpay or an indication that LA is just a different world, that city of angels versus Boston.
Croaked is a verb, not an adjective.
Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Unbelievable.
Didn't see that coming. David, your response?
It's an action verb to croak. I guess that's right. I don't know why I said adjective. I'm wrong. It's a verb. Thank you.
Can we start a new category for Suey's greatest correction? Because that has got to be the leader in the clubhouse.
It's a great one.
Tough look for David.
No, I got it wrong.
Because it's me, David.
But it's Chris Cody.
Oh, is Chris not a grammarian?
Well, it's Chris
No,
correcting you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be
very
corrected.
grammarian.
He's American.
David, what happened on Nothing Personal with Andre Dawson?
Well, I don't know if people are. I want people to watch your show. We're on DraftKings Network. Well, we just finished off DraftKings Network, but we recorded an interview with Andre Dawson live this morning, and I screwed up, Mike, because I didn't wait for Coca to tell me to start, and he would normally he's alone, so he has to figure out the camera and the angle. I did notice the angle was very close to Andre's face. But I saw him pop up on the Zoom, so I just started talking to him. So Coca got super angry with me for prematurely starting the interview. But during the interview, which was live this morning at about 8 o'clock, he said that he has resigned from baseball's Hall of Fame.
The hell does that
And
mean?
he does not consider himself to be part of Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, because of a dispute he's having with them. And I was shocked to hear that.
I don't think he's in charge of that.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, like I love Andre Dawson.
Once you're in the Hall of Fame, you're in the Hall of
But
Fame.
yeah,
Right.
I don't think he makes the rules.
Yeah.
So, but he can choose not to go back to Cooperstown, which he didn't. There were 52 Hall of Famers who went for Ichiro and CeCe Sabathia and Dave Parker and Scott, etc. But no, this was different.
Are they like a united group? Is that what, like, they're all upset about the same thing, those guys you just mentioned?
No, Andre called those players to congratulate them, those who were alive, obviously. And what happened was that he didn't want to be in the Hall of Fame as an Expo. He wanted to be in the Hall of Fame as a Cub. And they didn't grant him his wish, and they won't let him change it. And I didn't realize to what level the Hall of Fame had gone against Andre and how personal it had become against Andre. And he talked about it freely on the show. And then he talked about the fact that he got colluded against by Charles Bronfman, the owner of the Expos, and that's how he became a Cub.
Yeah.
Except the Cubs didn't want him to be a Cub. They were shocked when he said he would be a Cub. And he told us this morning that he was only going to play for the Cubs or the Braves because he needed to play on grass because he couldn't play on turf for another second.
Wow. Like that. Man, I'm sorry to hear that because Andre Dawson waited so long to get that call.
Well, he's still in the Hall of Fame, Zach.
No, he is. Right? He is. No, but it upsets me that that he's upset about something that took so long for him to rightfully be inducted into. And then on top of it, I mean, let's be honest here for a second. If he was so adamant about not going in an Expos hat, what the hell is the big deal? Why can't they throw a Cubs hat on him?
It's something that he explained in terms of how it works and that there were players involved on a committee, but then he spoke to players who said, yeah, that's not how it went down. So there is something going on. And I don't know if Pablo's going to find out. I don't know if maybe I'll try to find out. But what we got from Andre was just this unbelievable conversation about and he's a very serious man, and he doesn't talk a lot. He talks with his actions way more than with his, tonsils. And he just opened up and just started talking. And it's a good episode. It's today's second hour of Nothing Personal.
All right. David, you got a movie for us.
I do. Have you been watching Trainwrecked?
No.
No one's heard of it. No. Trainwrecked has different episodes.
I watched
things that have got.
It's a documentary series, right, of different stories,
Yes.
kind of like the Sports Untold one, just not sports related.
Exactly. They did one called Trainwrecked Balloon Boy. And I don't know if you remember when a hot air balloon that was made by some guy in his backyard basically got untethered and was floating through the air, and there was a little boy in it. Like their son got stuck in the balloon, and it was this thing live on every channel. It was covered. The balloon ran out of helium, and then it landed in the desert, and there was no boy in the balloon. So people thought, did he fall out? Did he fall out? Like, what happened? And it turns out the whole thing was a scam, and the parents got charged. They got charged because there were thousands of people and tons of money spent trying to get Balloon Boy safely down from like 7,000 feet. And it turns out it was all to get attention for this family. I didn't remember that part of the story. Spoiler alert, when you watch Trainwreck Balloon Boy, it turns out what people will do for fame is pretty shocking. This one will blow your mind. It's called Trainwrecked, and the episode of interest is called Balloon Boy. It's well worth watching.
This family was ahead of their time, man. Seriously.
Exactly. They were the Kardashians before the Kardashians.
Isn't this the series with the duty cruise?
I watched that one, the Poop Cruise.
Oh, that was great.
That was a great one.
Yes.
Trainwreck, the Poop Cruise.
Where a cruise just loses power in the middle of the ocean, and for like 5 days, nobody can go to the bath. Like, they can go to the bathroom, but they can't flush. So after about a day and a half, that shit hit the fan.
I would have jumped overboard. I thought about it. I watched that Poop Cruise.
Oh, David, I was thinking of you too. I was like, imagine David on this ship.
I would have either called for a helicopter, I would have jumped overboard, I would have taken the lifeboat, because they were just floating without power for days. And there was literally rivers of crap flowing through the hallways.
Right.
And people were sleeping on deck. There were no showers. There was no ability to cook food. They were out of food.
The sad food lines.
But David, if you jump off, you're choosing death over staying alive. I mean,
I can swim.
You can't swim that far. You can't jump
I'm an
off
Iron Man.
Get out of here.
You think that poop's not hitting the ocean, David? You think you're not swimming through some chunks while you're getting to
Swimming through
Louisiana?
that duty.
I got to feel good about the fact when I swim in the ocean that there's enough cubic yards or whatever it's called, however you measure water, that whatever's being dumped in by the cruise ships, it's being sort of spread around that I can swim in the ocean.
By the way, we've basically ruined 2 of the Trainwreck documentaries, so if you want to see a good, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, a good cruise-related documentary.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Very
One with
good.
Amy Bradley.
The one with the girl goes missing?
Amy Bradley is missing.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't like that. Kind of freaks me out. Like I saw like the trailer for that, you know, and because it's a true story, it weirds me out.
She jumped.
Oh, but we don't know that.
We don't know that. No
Don't
one knows
spoil
that.
it.
That's what I think.
Spoiler alert.
Nobody knows anything. We don't know what
No,
happened.
we know,
but that's what I
we know
think.
some good information.
How'd that table get pushed up against the balcony?
Yeah, again, don't spoil it.
I'm only at episode 1 of Amy Bradley is Missing, so I actually did not remember this story, and I don't know how it ends, but judging from the interviews from episode 1 with Mom and Dad, it appears she's not back yet. So I'm not exactly sure what
Now
took
he's
place.
spoiling a doc that he hasn't even seen. What are we doing?
Nothing personal. David Samson, DraftKings Network, every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. That's the Lord's time zone. Great job, David. Thanks, man.
See ya.
See you, David.
Mike Ryan, if you had $300 million, would you donate it to the University of Miami?
I mean, donate the entirety of my $300 million.
No,
You need to-
I didn't say that.
You need to have $1 billion
Yeah, I
to
didn't
donate
say that.
$300
Okay,
million.
if I had,
more, probably,
if I
a
had,
little more.
that's what I thought you said. But if I had $300 million, yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar that a
Yeah.
lot of it's going to.
Like,
University
you don't
of Miami.
have just $300 million in your bank account. No, you need money. You're not going to give all your money
Can
away.
you buy
but,
me a new car?
but if you have
can talk.
$300 million that you could donate to something if you wanted, you would give it to UM?
I would go to, well, UHealth, they have a lot of great medical facilities, and we've cut cancer research in this country, so I think that a good amount of that would go there too, and that also benefits the athletics that I care deeply about. But a good amount would also go to the athletic department, facilities, and, you know, Miami's a historical outlier. They don't have this big alumni base that they can tap into. They have 17,000 kids enrolled in the school right now. That's peanuts compared to the likes of Ohio State. So Miami has to punch well above their weight class when it comes to resources. So,
What are we
yeah.
naming after you?
Yeah, you would want something.
There's
you want your
plenty
name
of
on something.
Ruiz stuff already. Like, I have to clarify. It's been a bit of a pickle for your boy.
My movie theater sells pickles, yo.
I'm on it, by the way, for those who are wondering. Bottom dollar originated in the mid-1800s to poker reference. When you stack up your bet, that bottom one being the last of your money, that's where it comes from.
What are you laughing at, Stugotz?
Just you. Whatever that reference was.
Stugotz, you donated $300 million.
All to
to
cancer.
anything? No, to cancer research.
All to cancer research.
Yeah, you say
Yes.
you want to give it to cancer.
That's the mistake, Stu. You've been giving it to cancer this whole time. That's
Damn.
why cancer's been winning the battle.
That's why we're still in the midst of this fight.
Damn
It's
it,
my
Stu. You
fault.
got to read the fine print.
I'm to blame for cancer.
What an asshole.
Hey, what's up, Le Batard fans? This is Roz Goldenway of Good Follow Show, presented by DraftKings. And this week on the show, we've got a lot of good topics for you. Okay, so the playoffs are starting to come on the way. The standings are heating up. We know who's at the top. But how about in the middle? Who's more dangerous? Is it the Indiana Fever or the Las Vegas Aces? And should the Fever shut down Caitlin Clark for the season? She hasn't played in a while. The Valkyries, big news out of the Bay. They debut their mascot, Violet the Raven. We take a look at the newest mascot in the WNBA. And the Lynx, they snag another victory against the Liberty in round 2. We're going to break that down. And then we have a sneak peek at an exclusive interview with one of the newest members of the Minnesota Lynx, and that is Jalen Sherrod. So sneak peek of that interview. Make sure you tune in for this episode. We also drop Tuesdays and Thursdays twice a week, so subscribe, follow our social media, all the things. We love to see you there. Come kick it with us.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Okay. Stugotz, how you feeling this morning? You doing all right?
Feeling pretty good, yeah.
It's good to have you here again. Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Hey, that's not my show. Don't do that. That is not my show. What's
I
the
love
matter with
ZLS.
you? What's the matter with you?
ZLS. I like that.
Jessica Smetana joining us now. Hello, Jess. How are you this morning?
Hey, Zaz.
You should know, Smetty, that Chris Cody just broke into a round of applause all by himself.
Oh, that's so
welcoming in
sweet.
Jess.
I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to do that. Yeah.
I thought you were going to point out that I corrected David's grammar in the last segment because that was very
I
noticeable.
loved that. I really enjoyed that. He called clearly a verb an adjective, and Chris Cody was there to save the day. I didn't love so much when you guys were making fun of blind people, but we'll move on.
Yeah, you guys took it like I wasn't trying to make fun of anyone. I was
Nobody was
making
making
a
fun of
point,
anybody. Hold
and
on.
You
guys,
said if they
hold
were
on.
playing against
Exactly
blind
right.
you, and then that visual was
Nobody
created.
was making fun of anybody.
No, I said it as if you would play like School for the Blind, and that's not the case. They're playing a really good school.
We were
week
just
one.
pointing out the difficulties
Of
if
playing
that
football.
were the case.
Yes,
Blind,
without being able to see.
Did we make it any better, Jess?
No,
Oh.
but that's okay. We'll move on.
Okay, so we haven't brought this up yet in the show today because I feel like we may need your help here. And I certainly don't know anything about this. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple days about New Heights podcast, Taylor Swift. And this is, Jess, I don't know if you're aware of this, not my expertise. Did you watch or listen to yesterday Taylor Swift on the New Heights podcast?
I really didn't know what. I thought this could go any direction. I thought we were going to talk about sex toys again. I thought this could be
On the list.
about the 3 ejections last night in the Sun Sky game. All of those things, well, maybe I shouldn't say I'm more of an expert on, but I'm not a Taylor Swift expert either. However, last night there was this big delay in the basketball game I was watching, Zaz, and the play-by-play announcer for the Connecticut Sun, I think it's Brandon Glasheen, was saying, I hope you don't tune out during this 15-minute long review of this call and turn on the Taylor Swift interview. Please stay with us. And I was
Why
like,
would he even
actually,
say that?
That's a good idea.
It's a terrible job by him.
It was the longest review of any play. And this is coming from a league where the officiating tends to be more frustrating than any other league. But anyways, so I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to turn on this Taylor Swift thing and see what the buzz is about, because I had heard about it. I didn't really know what was going on. And I said this on Mystery Crate this week. You'll hear it tomorrow. But this Travis Kelce PR push, it has worked on me. Okay. I haven't thought about Travis Kelce since January. And all of a sudden I'm like, what's he up to? So I turned it on and it was very cute. It was very cute. It's not like, I'm not a Swiftie. It's not like, I've never listened to New Heights before, but I was listening to 3 of them and I was like, Jason Kelce is like, he's doing his best Barbara Walters right now. Like, this is a great interview.
Oh, is that what it was? It was like in the form of Jason interviewing the 2 of them?
Basically, yes. And they were very cute together and it was very adorable. And then she debuted her new album, which is called Life of a Showgirl. And they were very nice and talked about, you know, he was sort of complimenting her on how hard her job is. And she was talking about how hard his job is. And it was just, I don't know. Something about it kind of tickled me. And I was like, you know what? I can kind of see the appeal here. And then after like 10 minutes, I turned it off and watched the basketball again. But there are 1.3 million live viewers when I turned this thing on. It was absurd.
It's a hard off.
heart off, really, because they love each other so much.
Like, Jess, don't you think someone comes down, if this review was taking so long at the WNBA game, somebody comes down from wherever their review center is, guys, the Taylor Swift podcast, like, it just dropped, you idiots. Can we hurry this thing up?
I think that's the problem. I don't think they have a central review center. I think they need one. I think that is an issue. I think that if I were negotiating the new CBA, I'd be like, hey, we're not playing until you guys fix the officiating, because this is bananas.
Every night there's someone. Now look, NBA officiating, we could say whatever we want as well. Like, they complain too. Fans, we complain too.
In NFL officiating,
yes,
we complain about
every
constantly.
Every sport. But it really does seem like in the WNBA, every single night there's complaining about the officiating.
Yes, correct. The Fever Wings game the night before, there were tons of complaints about Paige getting a special whistle, and then the Fever head coach Stephanie White said after the game that the Fever weren't getting a good whistle, and it's just like on and on and on. There's been research done on this. There was a really long story in The Athletic by Chantel Jennings earlier this year during the Final Four about the NCAA officiating, because that has also been a huge issue. And as that sport gets more popular, people have more and more complaints about just the inconsistency, that one game you can get away with this, and then the next game you can't, and you have to change from game to game based on who the officials are, how aggressively and physically you can play. But this doesn't seem like a problem that can be fixed overnight. It seems like there's just like this long pipeline issue. So it's really just not going to get better anytime soon.
Isn't part of the fix that the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, like, can't she eventually send out a note to these teams where it's like, hey, no one wants to hear complaining about the officials every single night. We need to tone down on this rhetoric.
I think they get fined if they cross a line like any other league. So I think that it's already frowned upon, but there's been, conversations about, if you do complain about it, do you get a better whistle in your next game? And so that's a tactic that coaches have maybe tried to take, but I don't know. Zaz, it's just a mess, and you kind of just expect it now. And so last night during this 15-minute long review, where ultimately 2 Sky players and 1 Sun player got ejected for, I would say, a fracas. It wasn't really much. I did just decide, you know what? I'm gonna.
I say fracas.
You say
I
fracas?
thought it was
Fracas sounds like it has a
I've
Spanish
always heard
accent.
It's a fracas, yeah.
fracas. Okay, you know.
Wow, you gave in
I'll take
so
it.
fast. I was
Adjective.
with you.
Okay.
Typical. Jess, the old adage is, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Now, we found out officially the Sunday night Week 1 game at Hard Rock Stadium between Notre Dame and Miami will be a top 10 matchup. Both teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
And right now, from what I'm reading, Notre Dame has a legitimate quarterback battle. Everyone thought that C.J. Carr was going to be QB1. It seems like he's getting pushed by Kenny Minchie. Are you worried about this, or do you think that, hey, we have 2 good quarterbacks?
Echoes.
I don't know why there was so much certainty going into preseason camp that it would be CJ Carr. I think that like the vibe was that it's, maybe he's the favorite just because I think there's a expectation that his ceiling is higher, but he is a younger player than Kenny Minchie, and Kenny Minchie does have more of a like mobile aspect to his game that CJ Carr doesn't have. And so with offensive coordinator being Mike Denbrock, who's, was the offensive coordinator of Jaden Daniels and a number of other mobile quarterbacks, Riley Leonard last season. That might be something that helps a player who has, neither of them have started in a college football game before. So I don't it seemed like it was already a quarterback battle to me. And maybe just the national media perspective was that it was more one-sided and that it was just kind of a formality to do it this way. But I wouldn't say I'm worried. I would say, you kind of just have to trust that the coaches make the right call, because Notre Dame is going to run the ball a lot. They have a really good tight end that they have a lot of faith in going into this game, Eli Reardon. They have Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price returning in the backfield. The offensive line should be really good. So I wouldn't say that it's I'm panicking by any means, but it certainly is. It's interesting because this is, the first season Notre Dame's had a quarterback battle in a long time. The last couple seasons they've taken these longtime starters out of the portal. And so this is just, and again, this is something that it's going to be like this for a lot of college football teams this year. The COVID players are all gone. There's going to be a huge variation in quarterbacks in college football because
players don't have COVID years anymore.
You're not going to get a Dylan Gabriel coming in on a really good Oregon team and just swooping in and running the playbook. Like, there's not a 5 and 6 year players anymore, Zaz. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks debuting this season, and more likely than not, the quarterbacks that you're going to watch in the playoffs, a lot of them are going to be first year players, I think.
Jess, what's your plan for Miami Notre Dame?
I don't have a plan. I'm just going to watch the game.
Like, you're not
my
coming
TV.
down?
Oh, no.
Oh, well, you said that like you hate Miami.
She doesn't really like it here, Zaz. I don't know if you know this.
Abhorrent.
I mean, I was just there. Like, I don't need to come back already.
All right, Notre Dame.
Sounds
Sounds
scared.
team, right? Yeah.
Sounds scared to me.
I was at Hard Rock, like, I don't know how many months ago was that, like 4 months ago for a game? I don't need to go back to Hard
No,
Rock.
sounds scared specifically to relive 2017, the greatest night of our lives.
That's sad. I'm sorry. That was the greatest night of your life.
Jess, a loss that night hurts more for which team?
I don't think it hurts either team that much, to be honest. I think that Miami still can win the ACC, even if they lose to Notre Dame, and then they're in the playoff. Even if they lose maybe one other game, they could still make it to the ACC championship game, depending on who that is too, obviously. Notre Dame, I think, if they lose to Miami, there's more pressure to beat Texas A&M in week 3. But I don't think it necessarily eliminates either team from the playoff. I think that if you are someone who said that the 12-team playoff devalues the regular season, there's a little bit of truth to that.
Of course.
There's not 12 play-in games like in the 2014 season to the playoff, where an 11-1 team may not make the playoff, and it's going to be really tight. So the counterpoint to that is we should get more great week 1 games like this. We should get more non-conference week 1 games. This game's obviously a little different because Notre Dame has the ACC scheduling agreement, but like Ohio State, Texas, we should get games like that every year. LSU, Clemson, we should get games like that every year, because I don't think it really hurts that much if you can then go on and win the rest of your games that season, especially in your conference.
Jess, I wanted to bring up a topic while you were on here because Michael Porter Jr. has been doing, I don't know if it's vlogs or I don't know if it's like a podcast that we don't know a name to
Willie
yet.
Cauley-Stein.
But he's doing
Steiny.
He's facing the camera and talking. Let's just put it that way. And it's come up with like a bunch of conversation starters. Like he talked about his situation with his brother and the gambling, John Tay Porter. He talked about a couple other things. I wanted to play a clip and discuss any of those things, but specifically for me, one topic that Michael Porter Jr. gets into and tries to sound very profound.
Everybody has different vices. Everybody has different things that they struggle with. That can go from people that struggle with alcohol, people that struggle with drugs. You know, my brother, for example, struggled with gambling. My vice has always come in the form of women. My brother, Jonte, he never seemed to struggle with that vice. You know, I never struggled with the gambling addiction.
Low riz.
Damn.
Low riz.
One of the topics that come up is how you speak about your siblings in public, because that was a shot at his brother. He's like, he doesn't get any ladies. But also, Jess, correct me if I'm wrong here. Did he just not make monogamy sound like the most difficult thing in the world? Now, before anybody gets on
him,
this, there's some people that are sex addicts, and I understand that. I don't believe that that's what he was describing there. But monogamy, is it the greatest vice, or is it just MPJ's?
I wanted to ask you that, Izzy. Like, do you think monogamy is difficult? Because I feel like it's way more difficult to be in multiple relationships than just one.
Hard to balance.
I only know one way, and I've done the monogamous thing in both of my relationships, and I think it's pretty easy for me.
If
but
you like your partner, it's not that hard.
Precisely. I actually had I interviewed one of my heterosexual teammates at the flag football league that I play in, and he basically said the same thing. Like, is this like a straight people thing? Like, he said effectively, my problem is being loyal to my wife. Yeah. Kind of like what your problem is wanting to sleep with men. I was like, what? Like, that is not like monogamy.
It's apples to apples.
Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I've been watching a lot of Mad Men recently, so my opinions on monogamy gotten firmer as I've just I watched Don Draper have sex with so many women outside of his marriage. So
nowhere am I judging people who are not monogamous, who have open relationships, anything like that. I'm just not putting on the same level being gay and not being able to be loyal to your wife. Two different things. Like, do they think that all gay people either like all have open relationships and we don't have to fight that, or we're like super willpowered?
No, it's just an orgy. That's what they're expecting.
Yeah, Jess, in your Mad Men rewatch, are you still surprised at the PTO policy for Dom Draper? This is crazy. He just goes away months on end, and everyone's cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, he just goes to LA for a month and then comes back, and they're like, cool, you came back, because they kind of didn't think he would. All of it's crazy. I mean, the amount of chain smoking and like midday whiskey drinking or rye drinking.
How are they not always drunk?
That's the thing.
They are. John Slattery is always drunk.
You mentioned
drunk.
Zaz.
It makes so much more sense when you rewatch it as an adult. You're like, oh, he's making these terrible choices because he has like a horrible alcohol problem.
Zaz mentioned last week about watching Boardwalk Empire. That show always made me, like, anytime I have a conversation with someone, I just want to pour a little glass of scotch. I'm pretty sure when I watched that show, I asked from my mother-in-law for a decanter for Christmas. Just because I wanted to have a thing with some whiskey in it. So if I ever need to make a big life decision or have a big conversation with someone, I'll go pour a couple glasses.
Yeah, I love the idea that just anytime someone walks into your home or into your office, it's automatically expected you have to pour them a drink. I want to live that life.
Oh, I just want to let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I think the Le Batard Show studio office dynamic is already weird enough without everyone drinking scotch at 2 p.m. So maybe
we only take shots
to throw alcohol
Friday
in the mix.
afternoons.
Can I throw one thing out there? I was listening earlier to your Kyrie eleison bit. I was like, what? So I don't know that song, but I was like, I know that phrase, and I think it's from church. And then I remembered it's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It means Lord have mercy, and it's part of like a chant that Christians say.
And reggae artist as well.
Yeah. It just reminded me of Monty Python this morning.
There's a Venn diagram of Greek Orthodoxy and reggae artists that both say handshake, Lord of Mercy in the middle.
That actually reminds me of my latest internet trend that I am a huge fan of. Have you guys seen these videos? And maybe it's just one or two guys, but it's Jamaican men narrating cooking posts. And it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Trust me, when you say it out loud, you're just like, why is that so funny? Just go watch them. There's one in particular where somebody was just doing so much homemade stuff while they were making chicken wings. And the line that I laughed so hard, I nearly jumped off the toilet. I don't know if that happens for anybody else. When he's like, "Why you no make water too?" And I was just like, "Oh my god!" It's just like when you say things hilarious in a special accent, like it's otherworldly and it's hilarious. And I encourage everybody to go listen.
Lord of Mercy.
Well, you no make water too.
Jess, are you watching Mad Men again because you don't have anything else to watch on TV these days? Like, are you out of things to watch?
I need a show between the hours of like 5 p.m. and 7 most evenings. Like I just need something before the sports start. And there was like a couple weeks in there in like August where like not a lot of sports on. I watch baseball sometimes, but like Monday nights there's no basketball games. I'm like, I just need something.
What is it like having that window open?
Yeah,
because that's a big kid time.
Yeah, that's a huge kid window.
So much kids.
I have that window.
Busiest time. Yeah.
This is exactly why I'm very happy right now in my life because I have those 2
because
hours.
you have no kids, right?
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but I have those 2 hours because I don't have kids.
Yeah.
And then there's also like the hour when you're like getting ready for bed, but you're not falling asleep yet. That's a special time. I love that 45 minutes to an hour where it's just laying in my bed, scrolling on my phone. Maybe I put on a Mad Men episode. I don't know, Zaz, to be honest, like I just turned it on and I was like, wow, the show is so freaking good. And so now
good.
I'm like balls deep in season 5.
It's so good. I remember that I've only gone through it once, but I remember the first time that I saw Mad Men. It's a phenomenal show, obviously, but it was jarring to me. And one of the most fascinating things about it to me, the way that they treat women. Like, I can't believe that was a real time where this was the way they were treated.
Oh, it was. Oh, it was quite.
And
1940s.
it's all better now.
We're going back.
Everything has been fixed, and now at work, women are treated very, very equally.
Zaz, I'm not going to say any names, but I've worked with a lot of gentlemen who are older who, when I see their interaction with women, it's jarring. They treat them like maids. They're so dismissive. And these are men, like people that I like. And it's just like, wow, the time that you grew up, like what was okay is wild.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore, especially the men that treat you like you're a little kid because you're a girl to them. That I have never experienced that at work.
That's what the money's for.
Israel, how much money do I have to give you right now to name a name?
I'll double it.
300 million.
I take it back.
You'll double it, Stu. Nice.
Well, Zaz doesn't have 300, so I'm good.
We can't let Florida get this edge on Miami. We can't have Izzy with 300.
Jess, if you were able to afford it, would you donate $300 million to Notre Dame?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think that it would depend on what the money goes towards. Like, do I need a practice facility in my name? Probably not. But if I could donate it towards like scholarships or something like that, or research, that would be good.
I feel like if you throwing in, if you're able to afford it, kind of, yeah, if I'm able to afford it, I'll do it.
Well, the truth be told, I'm not able to afford what I give presently. So there is that group of folks.
Jess, tell everybody how they can catch your podcast.
Yeah, we're on Apple, Spotify. We're weekly on YouTube. I'm also on a Vice TV show that a new episode came out last night on Vice. It's called Sports Gone Wrong. I think I'll be on Katie Nolan's show this week or next week.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm supposed to spoil that or not, but I'm excited to talk to her. But yeah, Zaz, life is good. I've been just hanging, fishing, enjoying my walks, watching Mad Men. I'm the happiest little clam in the sea.
Are you starting to bail on Caleb Williams?
I was never really that bought in on him to begin with,
right.
But I think my opinion of him is the same. I think he could work well if he had a coach and a offense that worked with him and what he's good at. And it remains to be seen if the Bears can pull that off.
How do you feel about hated rivals coming over to your franchise? Because I know it was always, being a Browns fan, I always disassociate it, but there was like it was a big deal when Braylon Edwards became a Cleveland Brown because there's so much shared fandom between Buckeyes and Browns fans. Are you a little harder on Caleb Williams because he's an SC guy, or you really don't give a shit?
Well, I think there's a lot of confused Bears fans who are like, yeah, that guy's so overrated. And in 2023, we're like, he's like the most, the Chicago Notre Dame fans, I should say, like, he's the most overrated quarterback in college football. This guy stinks. And then like the Bears continued to lose all season, and they were like, shoot, now what do we do? So I do think that does put people's brains in a little bit of a pickle, Mike. But I mean, like, the Steelers drafted Will Howard and Jack Sawyer, and yeah, I don't love Ohio State, and they beat Notre Dame in the national championship game. But now I don't really care that much if they do well on the Steelers because I want the Steelers to win. I care more about Aaron Rodgers being on the Steelers because he is super annoying.
He's got a whole new helmet now, and he is already making a big deal about it.
Never ends. It never ends with him. Just shut up. Just shut up. Good job, Jess. Good seeing you.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you later.
Thank you,
See you
Jess.
guys next
Thank
week.
you, Jess.
Be FaceTiming you in a couple of weeks.
That's okay. You don't have to. You can just
Not if you're
text
down
me.
14-0.
Nah, it ain't gonna happen.
You can text me.
happen,
I'll give
no.
you my old number. Okay, bye.
Mike, where do you watch the game from? Like, where you like? You're not in like a suite or anything, right?
50-yard
Oh,
line.
buddy, he's in a suite. He's high at
Is
top.
he really?
He's got those seats with the names on
Kidding
it.
me?
He's got TVs in his seats.
Yeah.
He
No,
watches
well,
other games in his seats.
I got the leather couch seats.
Okay,
on the
hold on.
50.
Oh, you're in like Club 72. You're saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've never been in that.
That's nice.
You're asking him to go right now, aren't you?
See,
You're on the short list for the Gator game. I know you went to Santa Fe.
Ooh, yeah. I'm. You know what? See, now you're saying things that are going to insult me, and I don't feel like that's a direction I want to go in right now. Okay.
That week you went to Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Maybe that week I did. Maybe for that week I did. You know, I'm going to be here for it because I travel every weekend for college football tailgate for ESPN Radio,
Right.
Stugotz.
Yes.
So I'm literally away every single weekend. It's great. Me and Amber Wilson, we do the show from the biggest games every single week.
So you'll be here for that game because that's the game they
That's
chose
the
that
game
week?
we're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Big game.
I actually had to
That's a big game.
specify I had to
If
specify.
you're there, I mean.
I have a nameplate on the box seats that I have, and it was actually directly next to part of the other Ruiz family that is associated with Miami. So I had to change that up and make
Is there
sure
beef?
to specify. No, it's just I don't want people to think I'm John.
He doesn't like being Hispanic.
No, that's not it.
Like you don't want to arrive and someone in their party is sitting in your seat.
Right. Well, I also contribute a lot every year.
No, I understand.
Whereas some other people just like to get that shine.
Oh.
But,
do you want to name any names?
No, I think
He did.
Someone name a name.
Did.
I
Yeah,
think I
he
kinda-
did. He
literally just did.
I already kind of did.
Yeah.
So I specify Mike Ryan, Cynthia, Juliet. We
So
get the
you have
names on there.
3 seats.
I did I have 4.
You have 4?
Yeah, 4 leather.
John
couches.
Zaslow could be one of them.
Wow.
Could be.
I don't know if you heard. I'm going to be in town for that game.
Yeah, we already the comp. It does get. The competition does occasionally get fierce amongst the friends, but
All
we've
right,
already
I'm not gonna
settled
bring
on-
it up again.
We've already settled on the Notre Dame.
You're on a
week
short
one.
list.
Yes.
I mean, what else can you ask for?
Yeah. And if I could just add one more thing, it's the only weekend I'm in town.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, you're on the short list. If you indeed went to Santa Fe, then that is going to be a big one.
I
We can
might
get
have
that-
went to Santa Fe that week.
Poor Ethan.
Me. Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Wow.
it'll be a hard week for Ethan.
You
Don't
and
worry.
Ethan fight to the death, Zaz.
Is Ethan on
Wow.
the short list? Short list?
No way.
Is he on any list?
And so Zaz is a lot like Udonis Haslam in that they're both champions.
That's
for
one
the
of many
Miami Heat.
things UD and I have in common.
Yeah, and they both went to Gainesville as a business decision, but they rep the Canes.
That's right. That's hardcore. You can't tell me I'm not a great Canes fan. I'm as good a Canes fan as there is.
How far down the list am I? Because I'm sitting right here and I haven't heard my name as a former Florida Gator.
Pretty far down the list, I got to be honest with you, because you don't like the Canes. So
Hang with 'em,
that's a
dog.
prerequisite. You got to love the Canes.
Yeah, he doesn't want someone sitting next to him who's going to cheer for the other team.
That's not something that you do.
Is it because I said you don't want to be Hispanic?
Yeah, that didn't help matters.
Did move you up.
Yeah,
I mean,
and in my defense, I had to explain to you what a Dominican egg was.
Fair.
That UF game's going to be fun, man. Ooh, I'm looking
Well, I
forward
wonder
now.
who's at quarterback for Florida, because
Oh,
Billy
you're
Napier-
down on Lagway, right?
I like DJ Lagway when he's on the field and healthy.
he's never on the field and healthy.
It's becoming a thing.
Yes.
Like he went an entire offseason without throwing, and it was one of those dicey situations. He had that shoulder injury during the regular season. When they opened up, over the summer, they had him throw for the first time, and it was one of those things from, I happen to know, we don't know if this
happen
guy.
to know?
I happen to know that they're being quiet about it, and finally Billy Napier's given voice to it. But go ahead, I happen to know this part.
He happens to know? Great Scott, he happens to know. He happens to know. Gather everyone. Get the children. He happens to know. So wise.
So the first time he threw over the offseason, everybody at Florida was waiting with bated breath because we don't know if he actually can play this season. He may need to get the surgery. Now, it appears like he's toughing it out because he threw and he didn't get the surgery. He's dealing with this other calf strain injury, which in the NBA is like, we got to watch out for the calf strain because that could lead to an Achilles. He has this existing shoulder injury. If he can't fully plant, that's only going to put more stress on that shoulder injury. He's limited to 70 passes a practice. This is according to my sources. And that's not a lot. You go in the backyard. That's about 5 minutes worth of tossing the pigskin.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
I'll make 70 throws like it's nothing.
Billy,
yeah,
come
but your
everyone.
shoulder is sore the next day. It is. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Well,
70 throws right now? I don't think I could make 70 throws right now.
Billy Napier admitted for the first time, DJ's on a modified schedule right now. The report is he's only doing 7v7 drills. He hasn't really thrown a pass 11 on 11. And I'd be really worried if I were a Florida Gator fan. And I'd also be Googling the depth chart and familiarize myself with some of the names behind him, because this can be a thing for DJ Lagway until he shows that he can stay healthy for a consistent amount of time.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Do we have imaging for the opposite of I happen to know? Because Ethan and I have been doing research for the past 3 days. We have no idea who the backup is.
You don't happen to know?
I happen to not know.
I mean, I would love to know the person's name. The next time I hear it will be the first time I've heard the quarterback of the Florida Gators, probably in the opening game.
You feeling good about Carson Beck?
I am. I'm going to practice tonight, though, so we'll see. But, yeah, he's...
That way the next few weeks you can be like out of practice.
He had an arm injury, right? You want to see he lives because of that arm. That's his occupation. That is his tool. And he was throwing before DJ Lagway was throwing, and he's looking real good. Usually you want to keep these things. I know when Cam Ward showed up to Miami, it's like we kind of need to be quiet about how good this guy is because we don't want it to be out there. It's harder to keep the secret because everyone's wondering, hey, do these passes still have zip? Does it look like he just had shoulder surgery? He looks like the same guy. It's going to look very different for Miami. He's not going to be as improv as Cam Ward, which sometimes Cam Ward was so brilliant, but he also dug himself in a hole, and he was brilliant enough to dig himself out of it. Carson Beck knows exactly where he's going with the football. He makes his progressions really quick, very decisive, and we'll see which wide receivers can meet him on that level. But he's really good.
Mike, I think you'd like to know that we had the Bear on God Bless Football. It's out right now, and I asked for a Heisman Trophy flyer, and he said Carson Beck. He thinks Carson Beck is going to have a monster season. Now, he loves the U, so perhaps he's biased, but that was his choice.
Bear shoots it straight.
Didn't he go to UM?
He did.
Yeah.
He shoots it straight though when it comes to Miami. But I think Carson Beck, because he had to follow Stetson Bennett, and because his wide receivers to a very large degree, they in terms of drops, just the flat number, and also dropped yardage. Georgia was the worst in the nation out of a major program. He got let down a lot by those wide receivers, but it led to a perception that Carson Beck isn't that good. And look, the Cavender thing kind of added to a circusy element there.
They're still on the outs?
They're still on the outs. But I got to tell you, Carson Beck has been a total pro. He went to media day, knocked that assignment out of the park. He's a better leader than what was led on to believe. And a lot of people thought he was a bad leader at Georgia because when Gunnar came in, everyone's like, this is the team's guy. Different leadership style, but a more mature guy. This is a
part
guy-
of that, I mean, it did look. I'm on the outside looking in, but part of that when Gunnar took over, like it did seem like the team liked him better.
Yes, it did. But this is a different setup down here in Miami. They got used to Cam Ward's type of leadership style, which was accountability. But Carson Beck is better than advertised in terms of leadership. He's out there. He's talking to the guys. He's developed his handshakes. He seems like to be like he's getting along well.
That's important.
It is. It is building up a camaraderie with your wide receivers, especially when you have some questions about the wide receivers.
Like when you say develop the handshakes, it's like LeBron where he's got a different one for all his teammates.
That's right.
How do you remember?
That's one of the things that you look for in practice,
work on 'em. Yeah.
Zaz. If a wide receiver has a special, unique handshake with the quarterback, you go to your notes app, you write that one down.
You know what I find very difficult in assessing quarterbacks is differentiating between somebody who makes quick decisions and somebody who predetermines their throws. Because obviously, unless you're inside of the brain of the quarterback, you don't know if they said, I'm definitely going to go here on this pass. But the guys who make those quick decisions all the time, whether it be Tua or whether it be Carson Beck, as Mike is telling us, sometimes I wonder, is that just a predetermined throw that was successful? In college, maybe you get away with it better because your talent somehow is maybe a little bit higher than the opponents that you're playing. But that's the most difficult thing for me. When somebody says this guy makes quick decisions, I wonder if half of those throws were just not predetermined.
The ball comes out at an NFL type of rate. I understand that, but I think it's amplified because of Cameron Ward's
because he did the opposite
ability in the pocket. And Miami still has a very good offensive line. They are very deep there. David Lake for 247 Sports wrote a great article in that we can have our questions about the wide receiver room all you want. You can win a national title with what is viewed as a non-elite wide receiver room. But to win a national title, you need to be really good at corner. You need to be really good in the trenches, D-line, O-line, and at quarterback. Miami's checked all those boxes.
Carson Beck is, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, Carson Beck is tied for 6th as far as odds go, shortest odds to win the Heisman.
What are the odds?
Do you want to guess what Beck is? If he's tied for 6th, do you want to guess what it is?
When you get those standalone TV windows, we saw this with Cam Ward when he got the SEC 330 window week 1. If you perform well at that position,
right,
wearing that helmet
at that school
against a marquee opponent,
right,
that is a huge platform to set yourself apart early in the Heisman conversation. We saw it with Cameron Ward last year. Carson Beck has that opportunity Sunday before Labor Day.
You're seeing it with Arch right now at Texas. It's because he's playing quarterback at Texas. So, of course, he has a chance to win the Heisman if he's great.
We come out the gates with Arch
he's the
versus
favorite.
the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes in the big noon window.
It's unbelievable to me.
As big as it gets.
Arch Manning has the shortest odds. I still want you to guess Carson Beck, Stugotz, but Arch Manning has the shortest odds to win. He's the favorite to win the Heisman. He has no collegiate resume. No. Has this ever happened in the history of college sports?
Well, he did come in for a couple of games.
Oh, get out of here! It's against UL Monroe and UT San Antonio and Mississippi
No, but I think
State.
that's what me and Mike are talking about. There was a time where if you just played quarterback for Florida State, you were in the Heisman conversation because
but without any resume,
without any
experience.
resume. Yes, I mean whoever the next Florida State quarterback was going to be in that conversation before the season started.
Yeah, Florida also had that.
Yeah, Florida had
that reputation.
Well, maybe not favorite.
When Spurrier there. What's funny, especially when you consider the narrative that was around Mario Cristobal, and I think to the uninformed still there, this guy's a quarterback killer. If Carson Beck gets drafted next year.
There was a time last year where he was thought that he was going to be the number 1 overall pick, Carson
Right.
Beck.
He was the odds-on favorite. He was the odds-on favorite last year entering the league, entering the college football season to be the number 1 pick.
Yep.
And then he had what is considered to be a season not up to their standards, and then he got hurt, and he came back. He was going to enter the NFL draft, decided against it to come to Miami, much like Cam Ward there. But if he does progress to be a high-round draft pick and start next year, that means Mario Cristobal has 10% of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Not bad for a guy that was reputed to be a quarterback killer.
How much...
Might want to win soon.
How much do you think it played a role in Carson Beck coming to Miami if a year ago he was Heisman favorite, possible number 1 overall pick in the draft, when the time comes, and it all falls apart from last year, but you see what happened with Cam Ward, and Cam Ward has the season that he had, and he goes number 1 overall in the draft. Like, did that play any role to Carson Beck choosing to withdraw from the draft and go to Miami?
You have proof of concept. Everyone saw that. Miami put out the number 1 overall draft pick at that position. That's been hard for Miami to do recently, but it's also Shannon Dawson and that
Second
offense.
time ever the Canes have done that?
At quarterback, I think, Vinny?
Vinny, yes.
Yeah, Vinny was the only other guy. That's a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but also Miami had questions about Carson Beck. They did their due diligence. They spoke to coaches, the brilliant offensive minds that had the privilege of working with Carson prior to, and that really convinced Miami because I think there was this whole attitude towards Carson Beck. Is this guy that good? What kind of teammate is he? Because that SEC narrative was out there.
Were his teammates at his birthday party?
That's as we
Very
know.
important.
That is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to draft evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Stugotz, what do you think his odds are? Tied for 6th,
Wow.
the shortest odds.
I'm going
to
to
win
say
the Heisman according to DraftKings.
I'm going to say plus 8,800.
Jesus, that's a terrible guess.
Huh?
Wow.
Anyone else want to make a
What
guess?
is it? What is it?
That's like that plus 2,000 territory.
Yeah,
What is it?
plus 1,800.
What?
Haynes King is plus 9,000. So you were just right there.
Does anybody play that
an
game better
awful
than
guess.
Stugotz?
No one.
Haynes King is a dog.
I used to ruin that game all the time purposely for Dan.
Yeah.
But now I have mastered it.
Terrible. Yeah, you ruined it for me too.
Zaz, if he would have gotten it right on the money, if he would have nailed it plus 1,800,
Correct.
what have you've jumped off your toilet?
I mean, if you nail something that's plus 8,800, yeah, like that would shock me. All right.
How do you jump off a toilet?
I'm going to give you one time, all right? So, look, you're just sitting there, and sometimes I don't have the squatty potty situation, so you got to have maybe a little lean forward sometimes. And if I see
That's what I
something
got.
that is ridiculously hilarious, occasionally I might just go, whoa! And then, kind of sit back down. But that's only when you've been on there for a while because
It's tough, though, if your leg is falling asleep, then that could be a little bit dangerous.
You get the pins and needles, you fall down, and then you die.